भद्रं कर्णेभिर्यजत्राः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यसेम देवहितैर्यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्ष्यो हरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ओम शांति 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 ओम अग्ने नय सुपताराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भो इष्टां ते नम उक्तिं विदेम ओम शांति 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 ओम आब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसी जायताम् महारथो जायताम् दोग्ध्रीन्धेनुर्वोढान् नड्वान् आशु सप्तिः पुरन्धिर्योषा जिष्णो रतेष्ठाः सभेयो युव अस्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामेन पज्जन्यो न वत्सत फलवत्यो न वोषदयः पच्यन्तां योगक्षेमो न कल्पेताम् ओम शांति 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 ओम आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणचक्षुः श्रोत्रमतो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वो ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणम् अस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ओम शांति 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 ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम.
Thank you. So today's program is about education and applications from epics to human welfare. And we have a series of talks, and a keynote talk is by Dr. V. Chokalingam, who is a cardiologist in Chennai. And we are also joined later by Dr. Aran Nagaraj, Dr. N.C. Bina, Dr. Ingadalli, Dr. Prabhakargaru, Dr. Aparna Dheer. And so we have a fantastic lineup of wonderful talks for the next 2-3 hours. And we'll kick it off with an invocation song by Srimati Annapurna Duburi.
Namaste. With the topic being the epics, I will start with a shlokam and sing a song on Lord Krishna and sing a song on Lord Rama. Kasturi tilakam lalatapalake vakshastale kaustubham Nasagre navamoktikam karatale venum kare kankanam sarvange harichandanam chakalayam kante chamuktavalim gopastri pariveshtito vijayate gopala chudamani. Ramachandruditado Raghuvirudo Ramachandruditado Raghuvirudo Kamita Phalamuli Kaligelendareke Ramachandruditado Raghuvirudo Kamita Phalamuli Kaligelendareke Ramachandruditado Raghuvirudo. Gautamu Bharya Pali Kamadhenu Vitado కాతల కౌశికుపాలి కల్పవృక్షము గౌతము భార్యాపాలి కామధేను వితడు ఘాతల కౌశికుపాలి కల్పవృక్షము సీతాదేవి పాలి చింతామణి తడు ఈతడు దాసుల పాలి ఇహ పరదైవము రామచంద్రుడితడు రఘువీరుడు కామిత ఫలమూలియ కలిగెలెందరేగి రామచంద్రుడితడు రఘువీరుడు పరగసుగ్రీవుపాలి పరమబంధువితడు సరి హనుమంతు పాలి సామ్రాజ్యము పరగసుగ్రీవుపాలి పరమబంధువితడు సరి హనుమంతు పాలి సామ్రాజ్యము నిరతి విభీషణుని పాలి నిధానము ఈతడు గరిమజనకు పాలి ఘన పారిజాతము రామచంద్రుడితడు రఘువీరుడు కామిత ఫలమూలియ కలిగెలెందరేకి రామచంద్రుడితడు రఘువీరుడు తలప శబరిపాలి తత్వపురహస్యము అలరి గుహుని పాలి ఆది మూలము తలప శబరిపాలి తత్వపురహస్యము అలరి గుహుని పాలి ఆది మూలము కలడన్న వారి పాలి కన్నులెదుటి మూరుతి కలడన్న వారి పాలి కన్నులెదుటి మూరుతి వెలయ శ్రీ వెంకటాద్రి విభుడితడు రామచంద్రుడితడు రఘువీరుడు కామిత ఫలమూలియ కలిగెలెందరేగి రామచంద్రుడితడు రఘువీరుడు రామచంద్రుడితడు రఘువీరుడు.
That's very beautiful. Thank you very much. So both Krishna and Rama are represented in the songs for the
story of the epics as well.
Yeah, so both are represented. One more song is there. I will play.
Jai Shri Krishna. My name is Dipshika. I'm living in Bahrain. I came to India for my vacation. Now I'm going to sing a devotional song on Goddess Saraswati. Kodubega Devyamati Saraswati Kodubega Devyamati Bridahariya Mukha Odeyale Ninnaya Bridahariya Mukha Odeyale Ninnaya Adige Raghuvenu Brahmana Rani Adige Raghuvenu Brahmana Rani Kodubega Devyamati Saraswati Kodubega Devyamati Akhila Vidyabhimani Ajana Pattadarani Akhila Vidyabhimani Ajana Pattadarani Sukha Vittu Palise Sujana Shiromani Sukha Vittu Palise Sujana Shiromani Patita Pavane Nine Gati Endu Nambide ಪತಿತ ಪಾವನೆ ನೀನೆ ಗತಿಯೆಂದು ನಂಬಿದೆ ಸತತ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ತೋರೆ ಸತತ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ತೋರೆ ಕೊಡುಬೇಗ ದಿವ್ಯಮತಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಕೊಡುಬೇಗ ದಿವ್ಯಮತಿ. ಜೈ ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.
So that was Rishika. She's from Bahrain, but she was on vacation in India when she recorded this. So another nice rendering by Rishika. So now I would like to request my father, Dr. C.L. Prabhakargaru, to introduce this keynote speaker. You're muted, Nana.
सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा चतुर्मुखमुखाम्भोजपर कलहंसवधूर्मम मानसे रमतां नित्यं सर्वशुक्ला सरस्वती. So we have a good beginning of Veda Parayanam, then Rama, Krishna and Saraswati slokas and compliments and congratulations to them. Beautiful. And now today's topic is the education applications of from epics to the human welfare. That's a really wonderful thing, but what is the education? What is the application of the educational knowledge and experience and results to the human beings? Only the human beings require lot of discipline, lot of controls, lot of guidance, and lot of advice. Otherwise, the human being is supposed to be not on the road. He will be always faltering in the course of their journey of life. And as a result, they cannot achieve the purusharthas, or their birth is not rewarded. So education is Vidya. And Vidya gives us, as you have just now seen from Purandarasa's composition with the girl from sang, that it is Divyamati and Vidyabhimani and Sukhapalana Sujana Siromani. These are the complements. So anybody who is well educated, supposed to have Divyamati, divine knowledge, good intelligence, proper behavior, character and conduct. And not only that, with his own character and conduct, he would be able to inspire and guide others. That's most important. Vidya is something which will give us a lot of discipline. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastine. Like that in Gita we get Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. So Vinayam comes only because of Vinaya. And Vinaya is a Sampada, is the wealth, is richness to anybody. And Brahmana is devoted to the learning. Because the Brahmins are born, or learned people, scholars are born from the face of Narayana, who is the Adi Guru, for whom all the knowledge just flows forth. So like that we have got that high elevation, high number of definitions for the education or Vidyarjana, Vidyabhyasa, Vidya Panditya, Vidya Parangata, etc. And the Divyamati will definitely help us to increase ourselves. That's one thing. And applications are important, because it's not simply education that would make people really great and strong. But the education given, if it is applied appropriately to one's own self-elevation and benefit of others because of him, then only he is called as a scholar, Vidwan. See, Vidwan, who is Vidwan? Educated person. And simple definition is Doshagna Vaidya Vidvamsau. See, Doshagnaha Vidyavan. He must be able to find out the faults, mistakes, and try to correct. And also a doctor, because he has got the power of diagnosis. And only when the right diagnosis is done, the treatment will be right and the patient will be better. So dosha is one thing that will bother all people at all times in the journey of life. So to be able to detect the dosha, find remedy to remove the dosha is itself education. On the other hand, simple definition is to know what you know. To know what you do not know is education, simple definition. And any travel that anybody takes up, it is a part of education in the younger sort, and in the older sort, a part of experience, and experience and application. So today, we are very much anxious to listen to the great speakers. A doctor is with us, a scientist is with us, and so on. And a Vedist is here, Sanskritist are here. So we'll be able to listen to them, what they would talk about the education. More so, the epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, they have been our source of inspiration, source of ideology, source of happiness, source of peace, and source of spirituality. And therefore, we want to dive deep, but actually the time allotted is very low comparatively to each speaker, and every topic that they have chosen is simply a oceanic, and they deserve independent treatment. But what to do? We must learn something of everything and be benefited. Alpascha kalaha swalpa abhavascha vignaha tatsara bhutam parimargitavyam. Time is limited and vignas are more, but still we have to go with the essence of them, which we are able to get from the speakers today. And Dr. Chokkalingam is such an enthusiastic inspirer and philanthropist and all that. Though he is a doctor, treating with the patients of all sorts of people, trying to give them peace and happiness and spirituality and make them all right. Those who are hopeless, he makes them hopeful. Such Dr. Chokkalingam Garu is speaking from Madras, Chennai, and he's so busy. But he said, I want to speak. He's so much enthusiastic to share knowledge within before 7 o'clock or something like that. So I don't know his topic, but I know I simply put him as a key speaker. So please, Dr. Chokkalingam Garu, welcome. Please enlighten us with your wonderful, inspiring talk, because so many people remember you very much and talk. Welcome, sir.
Good evening to everyone. For some, it may be good morning. Anyhow, my wishes to all my friends. And I'm really delighted to be with you all. And thanks to our Professor Prabhakargaru and his family for having given me this best opportunity I consider. And really, yesterday only, I was with Prasad and the family in Colombia. I've been traveling 2 weeks, all the states, many states in our USA, spreading the same message what you are all been telling about it. And I'm not going to say anything new to you. And anyway, I would like to emphasize certain points. One must reinforce constantly so that we can be healthy. And I like to share with my slides. And okay. Good. Okay. All of you able to hear me and see the slides?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Good. The technology is so nice. Globally, you are connected instantaneously. Okay. The topic is really very interesting. So what do you mean by education? How we are going to apply what our ancestors thousands of years ago they have left with us, how we are going to apply in the present scenario. There's a one, we are going to deal with that. And any questions, few minutes we'll see after the end of my talk. I'm glad to tell you that I am completing today 55 years in cardiology, getting to 56th year. That itself a great moment, that in presence of so many learned audience. I'm really honored. Any questions will take part. I used to tell how the mind is very important, not only to taking care of the heart we call. I published one book along with Anand Chokalingam and Priya, Mind Your Heart, Elsevier published. The main aim of this is healthy heart for hearty health. And to be very honest, it can be a heart attack, can be definitely prevented, even if they had it, can be completely cured by our past lifestyle. We are going to simply follow what we know and what we learn from our all the Vedas and epics. I may ask you, who is the best teacher? If you ask some questions, you can also interact. Let it not be mono talk like that. I usually make it. Zoom also is interactive. Who is the best teacher? Prasad, anyone can answer, right or wrong, doesn't matter. So discussion is the most important thing. Prabhakargaru, sir, who will be the best teacher?
You can say experience is best teacher.
Very good. The best teacher is your own life. Definitely your parents, your mother, your teacher, and most important thing, your life is the best teacher. As long as you live, keep your life as a book and keep it open, and you keep learning from your life. As our president has put it nicely, learn from that, and you must be able to unlearn certain unwanted things immediately. So learning and unlearning is a constant process. One must be keeping it alive. So your own life is the best teacher. What is the ultimate wealth will be for any individual?
Happiness.
Yes?
Health and happiness.
Happiness. Definitely, ultimate wealth is your health.
Health.
And what he has been telling that, how we are going to be health, we will now discuss. So any person is going to be however wealth. The reason I am giving importance to health is the very important thing, that what we call health is wealth. We may have trillions of money. If you lose your health, you are losing everything in that. That's what we always feel it. Then there is a question of how will you define health? Initially, they thought health is mean is a disease-free state. It was like that 40 years before, and WHO redefined health as positive state of health. Please remember, mentally, physically, spiritually, and socially, we call it as holistic. What happened once you are going to keep as a 4 stages of health, mind, body, soul, and it is a society concept very important, then we know connecting the mind, body, soul, we call it as yoga, meditation. Anytime you say, all the time, thousands of years ago, our ancestors have left with us the secret of how one should be connected, mind, body, soul, to the union of all the 3, we call it is yoga. Maybe by asanas, or by meditation, pranayama, whatever thing, please get connected, all the 3. Everyone born in the earth, they are at ease. Whoever it may be, the child is born, always they may cry, the sign they are gaining their life, but they are at ease. No person is born with a distress. So all are born with ease, created by God, nature at ease. When you acquire knowledge, what happens? You constantly dispel the easiness. Anything you acquire, whatever thing you say, without knowing, unknowingly, you are dispelling the ease, that we call it as disease. So disease is not the one that is coming, you are only creating by displacing what the easiness is. That's why we always call mind, body, disease. Mind is in Latin psycho, somatic, and disease. Any disease a human being suffering, please remember, the mind is most important thing. That's what our ancestors put it so nicely. So never dispel the easiness. What you are born at the easiness, continue to live with their easiness till your last date of your life itself. For that, body and soul, as I told you, they are not individual, independent, they are interdependent. There cannot be existence of soul without body and body without soul, but they are all interconnected. And you'll be surprised to know both body and soul are supported by our positive mind. So most important thing, if I'm going to have that, the existence of body and soul, the positive mind is very important. Suppose if you are going to be a mistake, if it becomes negative mind, negative thought, it will become is a supporting one. It will attack and it will destroy both your body and soul by means of simple negative mind. So in short, you must keep your mindset all the time positive. Then you will know what do you mean by mind. What do you mean by that? Please remember, mind cannot be seen, mind cannot be touched, but it can operate only in your brain. Even though mind is being formed in the brain, please remember, the brain is controlled by our mind only. So here I want to stress, mind is the software, brain is the hardware, and without brain, mind cannot be. But please remember, even though the mind is formed in the brain is being controlled by the mind. Not only the brain, please remember, mind not only controlling the brain, that only controls the heart, and all systems in the body are controlled by our unseen mind only. Be very clear about that. So what do you mean by mind, psyche, manam, ullam? The five sensory organs constantly send their feelings to the brain. Once it reaches the brain, the thought process starts, and then it makes you intellect, and this is the sixth sense what you are living. Once you become intellect, or arrive a sixth sense, you must keep it open like a parachute, and you must keep the mind 360 degrees. Never have a narrow mind, never have the mind to be closed. Once you get the mind, that decides the personality or individuality. Individuality of A, B, C, D, you will see shortly. That five sensory organs, please remember, it is equated with 4 legs of the tortoise and the 8. With the five sensory organs, that shell that is over that, all the 5 organs, the shell is equivalent to your intellect. Persons can move and use the 5 sensory organs for life in existence, but in adverse situations, you must be able to withdraw your 5 sensory organs. The sensory organs are withdrawn by the production of the shell of your intellect. Please remember, nothing can destroy you. So you must move with the 5 sensory organs, and if it is not necessary, if the adverse situations, you must be able to withdraw the sensory organs and keep it under the most productive shell of your intelligence. No chocolingam, I will never get withdrawing these 5 sensory organs. I'll be moving about without using our intellect. As you see, the tortoise upside down. And what happens? Even a small needle is enough to kill you. Please remember that. So by your intelligence, that shell that is so much of productive, so you must protect yourself by your intellect. Once I say the personalities, it is formed only in the brain. How many brain cells are there? There are 100 billion brain cells. Out of that, how many percentage are using? We are using less 7%. Anyone using less than 4, they have to be in the mental hospital. If you're going to use 2 or 3% more, you ought to get Nobel Prize. But generally you are using the 7% like this. So once you have got your intellect, we call it wisdom, we'll see what it is. The mind must listen to your intellect and body must listen to that. So intellect must dictate the mind must control the body, then only the most precious soul can be preserved. That's what our Vivekananda said, wisdom lies not in the amount of knowledge acquired, but in the degree of its application. However intelligent you may be, if you don't utilize it, apply it properly, it is equivalent to not knowing, it may be even detrimental. Many will know that smoking is very dangerous. By intellect they know, mind won't listen. Even mind may listen, body may not listen. Keep all the things in alliance, thereby you will be safe and safeguarding your soul itself. I usually ask, which is the best degree to possess all the degrees? Prabhakargaru. Yes? All the degrees what you are having, or triple M Tech, or what PhD, Prasad, or many of you, which is the best degree you would like to possess? Anyone? Yes? Yes, anyone, right or wrong doesn't matter. Unmute
To know
and answer.
yourself, sir. To know
Yes?
yourself is the best degree. To know yourself is the best degree.
No, no, among the degrees, what you are going to pick it?
This is all only for the survey of the food.
Very good. The best degree should be, I'm going to tell you, is PhD. Why they call this PhD for all the things? Let it be engineering, what Prasad is doing then. But I used to one day say PhD. PhD means, please remember, is a doctor of philosophy. Any specialty, ultimate goal is philosophy. Why they must put philosophy? Because knowing self is the most difficult, is a continuous process. That is what Tattvam, that is known as self-realization. Everyone till the end, it can continue to, it's very interesting to explore, go in depth. There is no way. All degrees ultimately they give as Doctor of Philosophy. What is that self-realization? As I told you, our ancestors very nicely put it. Ultimate goal of any individuals, those who are born, they must be self-realized. Once they are self-realized, that is called wisdom. Please remember, once you realize what you are, you should not forget what you are. So after having realized, never allow others to define what you are. Define yourself, and the self-realized state, at that time only, the mind will be at peace of mind. The self-realized person, if he forgets what he is, and amenable to others' definition, please remember, he will lose his happiness, peace of mind. So to get the peace of mind, he must be self-realized. With a self-realized mindset, with the peace, then only happiness can come. Simply we cannot say be happy. It is not possible. The stages of self-realization, peace of mind, and happiness. The happiness is a feeling that will secrete enormous positive hormones. That is the only thing that keep you healthy, totally young and fit, even at the age of 100 years. So please don't forget and never allow others to define what you are. But the peace of mind and what they say is, they allow their control of happiness. They think it is give it to others as a remote. They only decide your happiness. It should not be. The happiness is within you. most important thing. What is the most precious thing in the world? Which is the most precious? Prasad. What is the most precious in the world now at present?
Health.
Yes?
Health, yeah, health.
Yes, the most precious one is life.
Right.
Nothing can be compared with life. There is nothing more precious than one's own life, and you must not lose life to get something. Please remember that. So the best companion one you can choose is, which is the best companion? Any individual. Yes?
You yourself is best.
Yourself, you
Exactly.
yourself.
I really appreciate
Atmarataha
your own
Atmagataha.
self, your own body. That is going to be there till the end. All the one, your parents, grandparents, even your spouse, your children, all may go, all may leave. But your body will never leave you as long you live. Please remember that. And body is, yourself is the most precious. How are we going to preserve that? This is what I'm saying. This is the energy, if you're going to consider, is the one with the light or energy as a force. We call it as soul, life, or God. Whatever thing you name it, there is the energy. The energy, what it needs, you know that? For the energy to function, please remember, body is very, very necessary. For this energy of life, body, we call it as temple. Please see here how this energy, it goes in making our existence itself. That's what I call first body and soul. These two to be intact more than 100 years. Your mind must be positive, as I told you earlier. For example, the mind, body, and as a temple, life is the energy within you. If by your negative mind, what happens? That life leaves your body, we call it as dead individuals. So please remember, these two can be intact minimum for 125 years. Don't bother about it, at least 100 years. Don't worry, at least 90 years. But unfortunately, now many people, they are dying within the age of 20 and 30, enormously earning, qualified everything. They lose that inner peace, happiness. They will lose the life itself. That is the reason why you consider all the religions, wherever you go and worship, is a place of our worship. We call it as temple. The inside life is the one what you are going to pray as a God. So realize all religions are equal, same. Everyone is telling the same thing like that. So is it possible, Chokalingam? What do you mean by stress? It's a reaction of mind and body to the environment. Every time, as long you are alive, yet it does react to the environment. But if you are going to keep that reaction in a positive way, what do you mean by positive way? Happiness from all happenings. So at that time, a positive one, endorphin, melatonin, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, all happy hormones are secreted. And as long they are secreted and pumped in the blood, this neurotransmitter, all organs will work for 100 years. Please remember, it becomes like a breeze, what you call heaven. So feeling of happiness, this happy hormones, you feel as a heaven. But instead of that, something upsets you. If you're going to go into a negative stress, the adrenaline and cortisol are secreted, even the oxidative stress is triggered, and it becomes tsunami. It becomes a hell because you are unhappy. So see here, heaven or hell, not that after death you are going to reach that place like that. Now at the present, you are going to be happy, you are living in heaven. The moment a small pendulum after So sharp line, if the pendulum goes to -1, it becomes L. So it all depends your attitude to the environment. For that only our ancestors has put it. Type B is the most important. Be positive, be calm, be happy and blissful. For that, most important by means of meditation. Meditation only will wash away all mental impurities. Please remember that. Always, whenever you sit, please sit straight like that. Very important. If you are going to occupy the position like sitting like this, we can even sit for hours together without any strain at all. What are the negative personalities? You know that negative personalities are avaricious, anxious, agitated, or C is a compressed, concealed, not communicative, and D is a depressed, distressed, dissatisfied, everything. I introduced about 20 years before. E personality is electronic world or E world. We call it as exchanging personality, changing from one to other constantly. Please remember, all 4 negative personalities must be avoided. You know that one of the concept of evolution, concept of creation, I'm not going to go in detail. From rhesus monkey, we evolved nearly 6 million years ago. At that time, our ancestors, they have to fight, and flight by means of having adrenaline hormone. Otherwise, if they are not had enough hormones millions of years ago, we won't be surviving. We would have even, like dinosaurs like that, we have been no more in living and you won't be alive today. We are grateful to our ancestors. But unfortunately, what this fellow is doing, how he has become, or how this person's. So these two only responsible and inviting all diseases. Please remember, the 3 killers in the world are today heart attack, cancer, accident, all are lifestyle diseases. If we say lifestyle diseases, is a behavior of life set by your mind, attitude. That is a lifestyle. So, if it is going to be because of lifestyle, all the 3 can be prevented 100% if we decide. Indians are most affected. Diabetes, heart attack, stroke, many times more than everyone, including 20 times more than Japanese. Unfortunately, every an hour, 25 to 30 years, both sexes, they are dying within 2 to 3 minutes. For that only, you are doing everything best possible. You know the heart beats 72 per minute. Heart has got no sensations at all. It's the most powerful muscular organ. It's a closed fist. It's an apple shape and 300 grams. For the heart to function, please remember, there are vessels over the heart that are known as 2 millimeter. They are known as coronary arteries. You know that in human being, or what is the length of blood vessels we are going to keep in the body is 100,000 kilometers. So even in an adult, all blood vessels length is, it can go around the world 2.5 times. So whenever heart beats, the blood should be pumped to all the areas, please remember. And how many blood cells are there in an adult one is 40 trillion cells. So 40 trillion cells, each cell is a living organism. Please remember that. So you are so precious, our body and life itself. So what happens if there is going to be any clot in the blood vessel, it results in heart attack. So heart attack is nothing but blocking the blood supply into the heart muscle. If you say something, don't get frightened. I will make you to understand. That way we can be healthy for many years. So please remember, a Galaxy 820, you can mute yourself. I think this one. And please remember, whenever you are in negative, as Galaxy 820, can you mute your one? Because it may be disturbance for everyone. Not for me, nothing will happen. You are still not muting. I don't know. Or Galaxy, someone is making noise. I don't know that. Please. And those who got some disturbance, mute yourself. Now see here, thank you. See here, when you are in the negative one, you are tempted to take plenty of fatty foods. That is what mindset will go in. And you will put on weight and will become sedentary in life. You think smoking alcohol gives you happiness. When the cycle goes, please remember, negative side, and the cholesterol increases, sugar increases, BP increases, thereby it occludes vessel, and your children is closely watching this one. Please remember that this negative mindset and negative life cycle, you must break the cycle, come out from that, you can be healthy. Because of worry, a person may get a heart attack. After having got the heart attack, if he's going to worry about it, he will get another heart attack. So worriness, heart attack, and heart attack make you more worried. It may precipitate another attack also. So when you are going to end the stress, please remember, oxygen-free radicals are enormously released. They are very toxic, like superoxide, hydroxyl, hydrogen peroxide is a very destructive one. As we keep that skin of that one apple cut, please remember, it's a detoxification, oxidation. It happens, it'll get destroy that, not only the apple, your own body is destroyed by lot of oxygen-free radicals. When the moment if you are going to be calm, the production of oxygen-free radicals will be very much less and will be antioxidants by your mindset and food habits will become neutralized. And most important thing I want to stress here is, please remember, all cholesterols are very important. There is no good or bad as long the cholesterol is in the blood itself. Because all cholesterols are very important for all organs to function as long as it is in the blood only. Then why is cholesterol so dangerous? Please remember, when you are in negative stress for a longer time, please see, the cholesterol will get deposited in the blood vessel and occludes, thereby it results in heart attack. Or any acute stress, please see here, the clotting of the circulation, blood vessel, clotting of the blood, and thereby occluding the blood vessel, or any acute stress like anything acute one, it may produce spasm and thereby it occludes that. So either obstruction, clotting, or spasm, please remember, all the three can be 100% prevented if you're going to simply follow what our epics has said, how one must lead our life. Maximum heart attack comes between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., that too on Monday. Please remember that. Once you call it as heart attack, you may sometimes feel that pain in the jaw or in the back or abdomen or shoulder mistaken for gas trouble, arthritis, or cervical spondylosis like that. Only doctor can diagnose it. So the first 6 hours and golden hour, if you go to the doctor, definitely your life will be saved. So by means of doing ECG, echo, angiogram, we know within 2 minutes everything about the heart attack. And you may do emergency stenting, bypass, pacing, transplant of artificial heart, anything is possible. Now see here, now all organs will be available in the supermarket shortly. Once you know the size of it, you can have it fixed up yourself. Time is not far off. Your lungs, heart, kidney, total eye transplantation, brain also may be transplanted, gene therapy, and whatever the amount you may spend, please remember, all are only temporary therapeutic measures. The permanent one is if you're going to simply follow the 3 mantras. When I'm putting the 3 mantras, I request all of you to unmute and read what I'm putting it. Please ready to read. Mantra 1 is, what is that one?
Be
Yes,
positive in thinking.
excellent.
Be
2,
healthy in eating.
3,
Be adequate in exercising.
all Vedas, all epics, they concentrate only 3: positive thinking, healthy eating, adequate exercising. If everyone follows the 3 mantras, we as doctors will never have any job. All hospitals can be closed. For these mantras, you need not spend even a pi. You must implement it and make it part of your life itself. So mind has got no matter at all. Please remember, the same token, any matter, you go, never mind. Thereby, you can be healthy. Never get caught by the police or go to the lawyer for any help or go to the doctor. They will take care of all your property. Please keep them as your friends and get the help from them to lead a normal, excellent way of life. So success, you feel your happiness is not a correct thing. Please remember, happiness is the greatest success, as I told you. Among the two, if you're going to have the race, which one will win? As Senior Professor Kalyam.
Tortoise.
That's what my grandmother told me. Both will win. Only one thing will not win is Muel Amai. If you don't make effort, that's what you join both the things. Muel Amai in Tamil. Muel Amai only will get defeated. Muel Amai Rindam, both will win. So for that only please remember positive thinking, positive lifestyle, and healthy eating, adequate exercising, keeping the weight optimum, and not only smoking, never go near smokers. In doing that, cholesterol, sugar, pressure, all will become normal. And if you're going to do that, the permanent cure is, even if you're going to have 95% block, what happens in 1 year, it gets cleared off. If you're going to see 100 patients today, 95% of heart attack patients, I make them perfectly all right in educating this way of lifestyle, and your children will learn from you. And once you are going to meditate, the alpha mind, once stimulated, sympathetic one will be suppressed, parasympathetic one stimulated, and a happy hormones. Here, detached attachment is an attitude one must develop like water over the leaf of the lotus. How are we going to attain the serenity? I will put it, please read it one by one as I'm saying that. The best way of to be serene is 1, please read it.
To accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. Wisdom to know the difference.
This is the most important thing. Accept. Once you are going to be that, please remember, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphin, serotonin, all the happy hormones are secreted. And see a most important thing, why not to take these hormones as the medicine? Please remember, we made one research. The happy hormones won't come just like that. If I say simply, please secrete happy hormones, it won't. Once again, you must go peace of mind, and the feeling of happiness will secrete happy hormones, and that will make you more happy. And what they have done is research, transmission endorphin, any hormones can be given only in intravenous injection, but the 10 cc it costs you 200,000 rupees, but it can be effective only for 10 minutes. So be happy all the time. Allow that inner your organs secrete the neurotransmitters. An important news I would like to share. If anyone is having 95% block, if they are going to follow 1 year my lifestyle, what I'm saying, in the block completely reverses. Suppose you are born with the disease, you transplant to your children. If they live for 9 years like positive lifestyle, what I have been telling, that all disease genes will get disappeared. For example, if you are born normally, your parents are healthy, you are healthy, but you are going to be in a negative lifestyle for 9 years today, please understand, all diseases will come. How is it possible? The genes are liable to change once in 9 years, either positive mutation or negative mutation, depending upon your mindset and lifestyle. How is it possible genes will get changed? It has been proven about 3 years ago and is very, very important research one, because that genes are epigenes or phenotype genes. I'm not saying anything new till today, till now in the meeting. Thousands of years ago, what our ancestors told, I'm reinforcing it. Nothing new, Chuckling is telling you all. Suppose you are divided by the blood group, or the RH means rhesus monkey has got only plus and minus. Evolved from that, we got all the 4 groups. Which is the best blood group we like to choose if you want to? Raghavan. Anyone? Which is the best blood group?
Be positive.
Oh, excellent. Everyone will say O positive because they want a universal donor. I say B positive is the best attitude, not the blood group. Anything, take it casually. If you know no chocolate, I don't have the habit of taking casually. Please remember, we have to travel in this ambulance to the casualty. Life is like that. So less luggage, more comfort. Not only for a journey, for life itself, you must not have heavy weight on your body. One more important tip I want to tell you all, my friends. Never consider job as a tension. If you are going to feel job as a tension, you are equivalent to you are in the jail. Once you are under tension, hypertension comes. So devotion to duty is not a sacrifice, the justification of your existence in the world. You need money to be happy, but they become unhappy in earning. They become victim. After one, you add any number of zeros. The zeros will have value. Only the one is what you are alive. So don't lose your life and then going on adding zeros. So work as worship. Please remember, you must be able to balance work and life constantly. The sleep is very important. Once you go to alpha mind, the equivalent to meditation, and sleep is best medicine too. And when you are sleeping, please try to sleep in this left lateral position. You sleep within 7 minutes, and you must minimum sleep 7 hours a day. Sleep and happiness is like a butterfly. If you are going to catch, it will go off from you. The moment if you are going to be happy, as you have been having that devotional songs initially, is a mesmerizing, going to meditation and making you happy. So sleep and happiness must come and sit in your palm. Among the nuts, which contains maximum cholesterol? Yes, Senior Kalyam or Prasad, which one contains maximum cholesterol? The nuts, what I'm showing.
Peanuts.
Yes, everyone will say cashew nuts, almond, peanuts, whatever thing they are very liking it, favorite one they will say. One good news is all nuts are zero cholesterol. Any vegetable origin, they don't have any cholesterol at all. You can take with the skin, not plenty, about 5 or 7 or maximum 10 every day. More if we take You may add calories into that one, but otherwise they are very great nutrients. The food tips, please remember, avoid full stomach food. Always take after off food, quarter water, quarter empty stomach. Please finish your food 3 hours before dinner. Never exercise after meals. Breakfast nicely, lunch less, and dinner very much less. And take plenty of needed water, maybe 2 to 4 liters depending upon the body and exercise and climate. Better to fast than to live on fast food. The ஆயிலை குறைத்து உங்கள் ஆயிலை கூட்டிக் கொள்ளுங்கள். This abdominal obesity is happy obesity is dangerous. I used to say that whether you believe in horoscope or not, what I believe is shorten your waistline. You can lengthen your lifeline. This infantile obesity should be avoided. One young married couple, the wife was asking, when I die, will you construct Taj Mahal? That fellow agreed. After a month, he was asking, what, dear, I purchased land for that. Why you are delaying in constructing? Just for fun, I am saying that. One patient really happened. He is admitted in the mental hospital. 40 years. He has been telling all the time, Mala, Mala. When I asked that one, he fell in love with Mala, love failure. This fellow has become mad. His name is Mr. Karthik. Next cell, Prabhu, he is there 39 years. He is also constantly saying Mala. And they were telling me that Mala he married, he has become mad. When I put the slide in Calcutta, one person asked, what happened, Mala, sir? That Mala died 20 years before because of cancer. So please understand what life is. When they invented TV, it was so like that. Person who was watching is very lean. Now the TV has become slim. The person watching is seer. Should not be. So smoking, both the things are really bad, active and passive. And if you're going to have a very important message, I want to tell all my friends. If a good cholesterol, HDL cholesterol is more than 50 milligrams, you will live for 100 years. So how will you get the HDL cholesterol? Once again, as our ancestors said, by means of mere meditation, by means of exercise, by means of keeping a weight optimum, and smoking, if you stop it, your HDL cholesterol will be more than 50. Automatically, by Caesar mechanism, bad cholesterol become less than 100. Please remember that. And doing this meditation and aerobic exercises, all diseases can be prevented, including cancer. Please do all this exercise, but avoid doing Sarasasana, Sarvangasana. It is not good for the health, both for the heart and brain. You know that lift.
Chokalingam, sir, can I interrupt you? We have 3 more speakers. So can you please wrap up in 5 minutes?
Okay, another 5 minutes. Is it all right, sir?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Now the OT is invented lift. 130 years ago is very important. But I never use lift up to 8 floors now, even today. And treadmill, don't use it too much because it may be dangerous. Those have been using very constantly. So please remember, this is a very important thing. Everything is fast. Heart beats faster, life ends faster. Please avoid hurry, worry, curry to get buried. So life between the 2 lines, you can extend it or you can reduce it by your mindset only. So keep the line up, live longer. And happiness, calm, and humor is an enormous benefit effect because the organs are stimulated by your acupressure, neurotransmitter, you will live healthy. So life is a rainbow. Please remember, you cannot see the rainbow closer or you cannot touch it and be an observer of your life itself is what I've been stressing. And all the vegetables and fruits, the skin of it has got colors or rainbow, very good. And exercise, you must do aerobic and meditation. No, you don't follow that one, then you'll also will have rainbow, but different medicines for different diseases. So to live more than 100 years, exercise 100 hours per year, meditate 100 hours per year, and thereby blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol, weight circumference, everything will become less than 100. We live for more than 100 years. So keys to be happy, only in your fingertips as operate, control, alternate if necessary, delete the unwanted things. Life is a calculation. Add good things, deduct bad things, divide, multiply your knowledge, divide your time, live in balance. We ought to live for more. So yesterday is a broken pot, tomorrow is the cat on the wall, today is the musical instrument of meaning. So when you're seeing the time, always see that now is very important, live in now. So be an observer of your own life and live life better and avoid seeing 3 C's, criticizing others, comparing with others, complaint about others. Never copy your life with anyone and self-realized and lead your life to your satisfaction and useful to our society. So I'm leaving with this one, my numbers and contact also. If I am of any service, I'll be the happiest person to serve this society along with you. Please communicate the message to the youngsters. At the earliest time, many must be benefited. I am very much honored, thankful to everyone. Now, just 2 minutes. Any questions? 3 questions only will entertain. With that, we'll next one, we must go on, Prasad. So last question,
Thank you.
Prabhakargaru will last question and comment. Yes, Prasad. Anyone? 1, 2, 3 questions. So I will stop sharing, make a note of this one. I will go back. Yes, please. I know that I have taken little time extra after seeing that interest from. I hope it is useful to everyone. Thank you, Prasad. Yes?
Thank you so much, Uncle.
I am really honored. Yes, 3 questions. Yes, any question you must ask. If I know that, I will say I will answer. Yes, I'm really very happy. There's a lot of people joined today. It shows that eagerness to take care of health. Yes, please.
Meditation எவ்வளவு நேரம் பண்ணும் sir?
Very
Daily?
good, excellent. Meditation, minimum you must do 20 minutes initially. And generally, if you ask me, meditation is a realization. Chokkalingam, I don't do meditation. I made my life is a meditation. When I'm talking, you must meditate. You consider your job is a meditation. So if you're going to extract happiness from what you're doing, that is meditation. You
Sir, உங்க
understand?
phone number கொடுக்குறீங்களா?
I have put it initially.
Okay. சரி,
Okay,
sir.
I will show that. Yes, please tell me.
Sir,
Yes.
one more
Please
question,
make
sir.
a note of my number. You can take the photo so that you won't forget. Okay.
So one quick question, sir.
Please.
One quick question.
Yes.
Why did you mention that we should not do Sarvangasana and that
Sirasasana.
Sirasasana? Yeah.
Very good. Very important question, ma'am. Actually, we have been fighting the WHO and then university banned that one, but still many are doing that. What happened? We are going to do upside down. If you're going to do like that, please remember, heart has to work 5 times more than that. The pressure in the brain increases 3-fold, and you are prone for heart attack or cerebral hemorrhage. They started the Sirasasana, Sarvangasana. No doubt blood supply to the brain will increase with the aim of increasing their intelligence. But as a human being, when you are evolved from the 4-legged animals to the erect position, all your organs are meant to be in the erect position. As a matter of fact, even the bending, you may be strained for the art, but you're used to that, fine. So better, all asanas are very good, except these two are better to be avoided.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for a nice question. As last question, anymore, anytime you can contact me. My WhatsApp number, the mobile number, the same. Okay. Yes, Prasad, and last question will be our Prabhakarji.
No, I think it's very, very nice talk, Dr. Chakalingam, sir, and we enjoyed it very much. Thank you so much for your time and wisdom.
Okay.
And
now
so
go on to the
we'll
next
go to the next
speaker.
talk. Yes. So now next we have Dr. R.N. Nagaraj, who is the head of user education team at Infosys. So he's going to talk about Bhagavad Gita, ethical permanent solution for today's crisis-ridden education. So Dr. R.N. Nagaraj, please start your talk.
Very hearty welcome to all of you. I think I should be confining myself to about 30 minutes.
Yes, yes, please.
The original topic, what I had suggested was that Bhagavad Gita as an ethical solution to the modern days educational ills. I remember what Professor Prabhakargaru said at the outset. Aneka shastram bahuveditavyam alpascha kalaha bahavascha vighnaha yat sarabhutam tadupasitavyam hamso yatha kshiram ivambu madhyat. In other words, there are umpteen lores. There is so much to learn. Time is short, and there are so many impediments in the process. So therefore, what is the essence of each lore? One should subject himself as a student to study these laws, just like a swan, which always tries to take the milk out of a mixture of water and milk. Having said that, I would like to focus on what Bhagavad Gita tries to tell us about an ethical perspective for our whole concept of education, and how there are certain basic ingredients which are required to be. Can the rest of the people kindly unmute yourselves, or rather mute yourselves, and only when you need to ask a question, kindly unmute yourselves. Thank you. So therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, if you look at it as a wonderful sermon by the Lord himself to Arjuna on the battlefield, you will come across a whole lot of new concepts. Well, in Sanskrit, a student is considered to be a person who is eager to learn, who has two very important qualities. While writing a gloss on Tarka Sangraha, Annambhatta makes a beautiful statement. He says he is composing this small digest for the benefit of students. Balanam sukha bodhaya. But who is a bala? A person who is interested in studies. He gives two corner qualities for these two qualities to a person who wants to study. He says, Grahana dharana patuhu balaha nato stanandhayaha. A student should be equipped with the two qualities. He must be able to grasp what is being taught. And second, he must be able to remember what has been taught. Dharana. Grahana is grasping. Dharana is retention of what he has grasped. So these two are the most important qualities which are to be found in a student. A teacher is expected to have two major qualities in himself. Kalidasa in his Malakagni Mitram makes a beautiful observation on this aspect of what a teacher should possess. He says, Shrishta Kriya Kasyachid Atma Samstha. For some people, it is very difficult to digest what they have studied or they have been taught. So in other words, gaining materials for their teaching is a big problem for them because they are not able to acquire the knowledge that has been taught to themselves. There are some other people who find it difficult to express what has been taught to them or which they have learned. Sankranti Ranyasya Vishesha Yukta. But a teacher is one who has a very good combination of these two qualities, what to acquire knowledge and to disseminate the knowledge that they have learned. So now look at the situation in Bhagavad Gita. The whole of Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters, 100 stanzas, were taught on the battlefield. Arjuna gives up his ambition to fight, and Krishna has to spend all his energies to make Arjuna understand that what he is doing is not correct. Because that was the time to fight and not to run away. And the reasons that Arjuna gives as to why he is doing this Shastra Sannyas, Krishna brushes aside. He says bluntly, Kshudram Hridaya Daurbalyam Tyaktotishta Parantapa What, don't be absolutely timid in respect of this war. Don't try to run away. He hits the nail on his head and he starts expostulating quite a lot of his theories on him. The very first lesson which Krishna tries to teach Arjuna is Vyavasayatmika buddhihi yekeha kurunandana. Mind is always trying to do its own things in myriad ways. It's always active. It does not have a focus at any given point of time. So unless you make your mind totally controlled, unless you focus your mind, you will not be able to achieve anything in this world. That's a very important teaching in the very initial stages, that is in the very second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says, Vyavasayatmika buddhihi yeka iha kuru nandana bahushakhaha hi anantascha buddhayaha avyavasayinam. People who have an ideal, who have a focus, will have to focus their minds on what they are doing. If they don't do that, the mind with its myriad branches is likely to mislead the person and he will go astray. A student in today's context needs to understand this very much. Today's educational system is beset with a number of problems. First and foremost, ills that is affecting the education system is a role of money, which never was a problem in ancient India, because a student could learn whatever he wanted, whatever he desired, both the Laukika Vidya and the Paravidya at any Gurukulam of his choice. Money never played a role in the whole process. But today, most of the educational place, that's a very unfortunate development. But the point is that having entered the portals of education, are we providing an education that is creating a wonderful personality, a person who tries to realize himself as to what he wants to do in real life? That is not the thing that is happening. In today's education, a personal or self-realization is never an ideal. It is learning by rote that has taken the root, and it is absolutely inconsequential as to how a person should be really taught the basics of human life. That is what is missing in today's education. For example, An earnest student should have the urge to learn. And this urge comes from his basic tenet that whatever he is learning is for his future goals to be realized in today's life. And definitely, a person who tries to learn about himself will be much better off, as we learn with some of the future statements that we try to look at from Bhagavad Gita. One of the most important factor is in Bhagavad Gita is its emphasis on a purity of life, a personality that is absolutely free from a various blend of materialistic thoughts. In fact, in the second chapter, Lord Krishna comes out with a pair of stanzas which clearly outline how the fall of a person can happen on account of overemphasis on certain material ideas. The two stanzas, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha, Sangaha Teshu Pajayate, Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha, Kamat Krodho Bhijayate, Krodhat Bhavati Sammohaha, Sammohat Smruti Vibhramaha, Smruti Bhramshat Buddhi Nashaha, Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati. It clearly outlines in 8 steps how the downfall of a person can occur if he is careless with regard to his thought process. Dhyayataha Vishayan Pumsaha. If a person looks at the thoughts, Dhyayataha, thinking about them, he tries to develop a kind of attachment towards these objects. Sangaha Teshu Upajayate. And because he develops a sense of attachment towards these subjects, Kamaha Sanjayate, a desire occurs in his mind to obtain those material objects. Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. Kamat Krodhaha Abhijayate. If the material things that he aspires for are available to him, he goes astray by spending time with those objects. That's one sure sign of disaster there itself. If he doesn't get it, he gets angry. He gets totally worked up. Kamat Krodhaha Abhijayate. He desires these objects and he doesn't get them, he gets cooked up. And as a consequence, he will be deluded. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. His mind gets cluttered because he did not get it and because he is angry. Sammohat smruti vibhramaha. As a corollary to that, his memory power is totally turning into a blank. Smruti vibhrama. Smruti means memory, and this memory goes for a toss. In other words, what he has learned earlier, as a consequence of anger, what are the likely dangers that may occur to him, he forgets. And therefore, smruti bhramshat buddhi nashaha. With a decline in his ability to remember what consequences are of anger, his mind goes into a total blank. Smruti bhramshat buddhi nashaha. Buddhi is the principle which decides what is right and wrong, which takes care of all the decision-making power in the brain. And when this buddhi is totally lost, the person is lost because his ability to achieve the purusharthas, the chaturveda purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, that ability will be lost. And when that ability is lost, there is absolutely no difference between him and a pashu. So therefore, a mere thought associated with the sense objects is going to pull down a person from a pedestal to the abysmal downward path. So this Krishna clearly enunciates and tells Arjuna that he has to be very clear about this aspect. that he has to take care that the kama is not unnecessarily pandered to. In fact, in Bhagavata, we come across a very beautiful statement how Yayati is trapped into this kama, and as a consequence, he comes out with a beautiful statement. He says, Najatu kama kamanam upabhogena shamyati havisha krishnavartmeva bhuyayeva abhivardhati. Kama is such, the desire is such an element that the more you pander to it, the more stronger it becomes and it changes its forms. You quench one desire, another desire burns in its place, and once that second desire is quenched, it becomes the root for another desire. So the more you pander to your desires, the more you have to keep on pandering to these desires forever. Because najatu kamaha kamana upabhogena shamyati. A desire does not get quenched by ensuring that it is taken care of, because in its place, one more desire originates. So therefore, there is no end to this pandering to the desires. So therefore, it is like pouring oblation into the effulgent fire, because the more oblation is poured into it, more clarified butter ghee is offered as ahuti to the Yagneshwara, it bursts forth much more fiercely. Najatu kamah kamana upabhogena shamyati havisha krishnavartmeva bhuyayeva abhivardhati. That is an essential lesson which is taught to Arjuna at a very early stage. So now the biggest problem is, however much a person tries to come out of this sense objects, this pandering to the senses, the impact of kama and such other things, it is very difficult for him to come out of it. Because the body is made of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. And these three gunas are the real masters of action. They make you dance to their tunes. The reality is that each one of us is made up of these gunas. And these gunas virtually pull the strings of the individual. So therefore, Krishna himself admits, Sadrusham cheshtate swasyaha prakruter gnanavanapi prakrutim yanti bhutani nigrahaha kim karishyati. He very openly admits, swasyaha sadrusham prakrutehe gnanavanapi sadrusham cheshtate. Even if a person might be intelligent, but his body acts to the tunes of these three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. And as a consequence, prakrutim yanti bhutani, all people go back to their original self, that is the prakriti, from which or of which these three gunas are made of. Prakriti is nature, or this prakriti is the origin of the three gunas. The prakriti is nothing but a combination of these three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. So therefore, what will nigraha, what will a control mean when the whole body is made up of these three gunas? So it is very difficult even for a prajnavan, a person who is really clear about who he is and what he wants to achieve. So therefore, one has to go slowly on this path. Because despite knowing what is right and wrong, we may continue to do what is not right, not because we don't know what is right and wrong, but because there is some inner force which makes us believe that what we are doing is the right thing. Very famously, in Mahabharata, we come across a beautiful self-assertion by Duryodhana. Look at the two persons, Duryodhana and Arjuna. Both are valiant, both are well educated, Both are externally good Kshatriya kings. Both aspire to be the lords. But look at their differences in perspective. When at the battlefield, Arjuna looks at the vast army of Kauravas. For a moment, he gets funked and he feels that he is not likely to win over the war. Gandivam samsate hastat, the very famous statements running into 5 stanzas, describe both the physical fright which Arjuna experiences and the mental agony that he undergoes at that point of time. And Krishna very shrewdly takes him onto the path of self-realization. Arjuna was a good student. Krishna was the finest master. That combination gelled well. So you have 700 beautiful verses of Bhagavad Gita, which even today stands unparalleled in the realm of scriptural literature. The point is, Duryodhana also had an occasion to understand life through the words of Krishna. He had many interactions, but he unfortunately confessed, Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti. I know what is life. I know what is good. I know what is dharma. But I have no inclination towards implementing it. Nachame pravrutti. I have no intention to follow it. I have no interest in it. Janam yadharmam. I also know what adharma is, what is not dharma. Nachame nivrutti. I have no refrain from that. I am somehow repeating what I don't want to do because kenapi daivena hridisthitena. By some force which is embedded in my heart, yatha niyuktosmi tatha karomi. I do what he prompts me to do. My inner soul, what it says, I'm doing without understanding its righteousness or unrighteousness. This is the lament of Duryodhana. But look at Arjuna under similar circumstances. Arjuna also expressed similar sentiments. I want to give up my fight. I don't want to be a Kshatriya any longer. I don't mind becoming a monk. Bhiksham apiha loke. I don't mind eating bhiksha. As a sannyasin, I will go to house and collect bhiksha. I forget that I am a grahastha now. It is not my dharma to be a sannyasi. But then when Krishna confronts him, Arjuna says, Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. I am your student. Consider me as your student. Please teach me. And please be happy with me. Be gracious towards me. I am propitiating you as my teacher. I surrender myself unto you. So there is a pure Sharanagati with Krishna by Arjuna, and therefore he is able to overcome all these difficulties on the war front. One of the finest statements in Bhagavad Gita, and the statement of Duryodhana is like a Vetiraka example, a contrarian example for how one should not be in real life. So if a person already forecloses any change in himself, he cannot be a real student. Whereas here is Arjuna who accepts the challenge. He says, I'm going to learn. If I am not right now, I definitely would like to know what the right path is, and I don't mind following it up. So that was what Arjuna was. What a contrast to Duryodhana. So really, if a person has to lead a peaceful life, then he must be endowed with certain good qualities. That's what Krishna says. Nasti buddhihi ayuktasya. A person who is not endowed with good qualities, affiliation towards the master, nacha ayuktasya bhavana. A person who has this kind of a feeling can never be devoted to his master. Nacha abhavayataha shantihi. One who does not supplicate to his Lord cannot be peaceful in his mind. In that case, ashantasya kuta shukham. How can a person of this kind ever be happy? It is just not possible. So that's what he very categorically says. The most important thing is that to understand the play of these three gunas in our lives. And these three gunas always have a kind of an active determinants in our lives. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So these three gunas are very beautifully explained in the 14th chapter. I will not go into the minutest details there. But essentially, Sattva, although it is a good thing to have Sattva guna in predominance, it will also bind the person to this life, the cycle of birth and death. Whereas Rajoguna will make us active and be alive to various realities in life, and they have brought us to keep doing creative things also. That's why Swami Vivekananda was fond of saying that if a person is docile or he is full of sattva, he is of no use. It is better he is a person with a tinge of rajoguna, because at least then you will be active. Tamoguna, on the contrary, is that of slothfulness, one who doesn't want to take any interest in anything in the world, and yet be always in a docile state, in a sleepy state, without being active either for the good or for the worse. So these three gunas always act on our bodies, and as a result, you find different types of personalities. Well, transactional analysis of Eric Berne comes out with a theory. Rather, he would not like to call it a theory, he calls them phenomenological realities of the existence of three ego states: parent, adult, and ego-child states. Be that as it may, here in Bhagavad Gita you come across a fairly good treatment of these three gunas, Trigunatmaka Jagat. At one point of time, Krishna says, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Even the Vedas are full of these three gunas, because if you perform as per the Purva Mimamsa, the various yajnas, there are certain punyas that are associated with them. And these punyas will take you to Swarga, and once your account is closed, they will drop you back onto this earth to again do whatever you want, either a good thing or a bad thing, and then get into the cycle of birth and death. So therefore, Krishna says, Trigunya Vishaya Vedaha. The Vedas are full of these three gunas, because there is a tinge of fruit attached to each one of the karma that you perform. Therefore, you will be bound to those karmas, because of which you will take rebirth. So therefore, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Please don't practice these karmas for the sake of karmas only. If you have to perform them, please perform them. Whether it is the Kamya karmas or the regular Nitya karmas, you perform them not for the sake of their fruits, but because you are trying to do the karma and the phala is assigned to the Lord. So without any result in mind, you please go ahead with your work. That was the idea that he gives. So now, when these three gunas are active in a human body, only a very intelligent person who understands the play of these gunas will keep himself away from the results of these three gunas. So beautifully and succinctly, Krishna summarizes these aspects in these two stanzas. Prakrutehe kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma karta aham iti manyate. The panplay of these gunas make people do several things differently in their real life. The point is that these are being done prakrutehe gunaihi sarvashaha karmani kriyamanani. These are being done by the gunas which are belonging properly to Prakriti. Prakriti is nature. And nature, according to Advaita or Vedanta, is purely made up of these three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. This Prakriti cannot be confused with the primordial nature of Sankhya system. That's entirely different. So this Prakriti, which is made up of these three gunas, are responsible, the three gunas are responsible for the actions of the people. So therefore, guna ahankara vimudhatma karta aham iti manyate. A person who is puffed up with arrogance because of his intoxication of the ahankara, I principle, only he thinks that he is doing all these things. But the reality is that the gunas are doing all these activities on their own without waiting for your consent or order or confirmation.
So,
Only,
Dr. Nagaraj, sir, can you wrap up in next 2 minutes? Yeah, thank you.
now, I have 30 minutes and I have completed the 22 minutes.
Oh,
I'm watching.
Is it? Okay, I thought 9:45. Okay, so, okay, another 5 minutes, you could please.
Sure. So I wish you had exercised this option for everybody.
Yeah, I know,
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. So then he says, Tattvavittu Mahabaho, Guna Karma Vibhagayoho, Guna Guneshu Vartanta, Iti Matva Na Sajjate. But an intelligent person, on the contrary, he always would like to look at the panoply of these gunas as the activities of nature, and he would refrain from endorsing all those activities for himself and appropriate that he's doing these activities. So that's really one of the most important teaching which Bhagavad Gita provides. Then one more important conversation takes place between Arjuna and Krishna. Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha. What prompts or impels a person to commit sins or sinful acts? Anichannapi varshneya. Krishna, they do not want to commit these sins. Baladiva niyojitaha, yet as if forced in a pre-planned way. Why is it that they commit these sins? Krishna gives a marvelous response. He says, Kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhava. This is born out of the rajas, the guna of rajas, the two demons, Kama, desire, and Krodha, that is anger. Krodha is nothing but the manifestation of an unfulfilled desire. So therefore, they always are treated as conjunct brothers. Kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashanaha. They have a very huge appetite. Mahapapma, and both are sinful. Vidhiyenam iha vairinam. Treat them as your enemies. Only then you'll be able to lead a wonderful life. A very great advice. And then at the end of 18th chapter, he comes out with another statement. Krishna makes a very pertinent point. He says, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. Krishna makes this comment. Ishvara, the Parabrahman, sits at the heart of every individual. Brahmayan sarva bhutani. He makes everybody act. Virtually, he says, he makes them rotate. Yantra rudhani mayaya, as if they are on a machine. and through the activity of Maya, he makes people run around amok. So this, in fact, is the reality which you have to understand. And once a person understands these realities, there will be nothing else that he needs to understand. Time that was curtailed was too problematic. So therefore, I'm not able to do full justice to the subject that I had chosen to speak today. Anyway, that's the reality, we have to accept it. I don't want to come in the way of the future speakers for the day. Thank you very much for your patient listening. So with that, I conclude my remarks today. Thank you. Any questions I would like to take, if there are?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Under the present circumstances, who is the best guru and best shishya?
The definitions have not undergone much of a change. Even today, a good teacher is one who knows what he is teaching well and teaches well. But added to that is definitely the personality of the teacher. Definitely, he needs to have a personality where he knows what is right and wrong. And we cannot have a double speak as a teacher. That is not acceptable even in today's reality. A student definitely will have to have some of these basic qualities. One important definition that we come across is that Utsaha Sampannam Adhigda Sutram Kriya Vidhignam Vyasaneshvasaktam Shuram Krutagnam Druda Saukrudam Cha Lakshmi Swayam Yati Nivasa Hetoho. Though this is a common statement, a subhashita, to project a person who is going to become rich in the right righteous way, this is the apt definition of a student also. A student should be such that he must be able to draw the knowledge of his teacher, as Manu puts it. Manu was one of the finest lawgivers and much maligned and misunderstood lawgiver. But he makes a beautiful statement. Just like a person who tries to sink a borewell uses his shovels to dig water from hard rock, a student also should be efficient to draw out the knowledge which is there in a precept. Only such a student can gain maximum advantage from a teacher. So, well, in lighter vein, there is also another definition of a good teacher, apart from what I quoted about Kalidasa. Nilakanta Dikshita, a very modern poet in Sanskrit of 18th, 19th century, in his Kali Vidambanam makes a statement. He says, he is a good teacher who can convince his students about two things. Pathyatam samayotitaha. Study well, time is up, just as I said. Pathyatam samayotitaha spashtam agre bhavishyati. At present, your mind is not fully blossomed. Wait, when I explain all the details, you will automatically understand everything. Spashtam agre bhavishyati. Iti pathayatam granthe kathinyam kutra vartate. If you teach a book like this, you can teach any number of difficult texts. So that's about a modern teacher who doesn't want to go deep into the subject, but tries to brush aside the questions. So that's a negative example of a bad teacher. A good teacher is definitely one who knows how to gather information, present the information in an understandable way. One of the finest examples given by Kalidasa in Malotharnimitra. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and very nice talk. And in the chat also, I think the Duryodhana's episode you mentioned and his destiny was very, very well received. So thank you. Very nice talk. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And so next we'll have Dr. N.C.B. Nath, who's a scholar in Veda and Management Studies, and he's going to present his talk on Sundara Kanda, handling turning points in an epic covering combination of art, life, and faith. Sir, please take the floor. Dr. N.C.P. Nath.
Seems he has got some internet problem.
Yeah, so you're not able to hear you, sir. Your audio is not coming through.
Hello.
Yeah, very nice. We can hear you now.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry, we had a bit of a problem with the internet. Oh, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to deal with a very wide swath from art to faith. Whenever people talk about scriptures, the usual posture is one of didactics, instruction. In my view, there is perhaps another way of looking at it. That's what I will do in this presentation. I'll look at Sundarakanda as a work of art, as a realistic representation of life, and as a pillar of faith. That is the way in which I'm going to present what I would like you to kindly consider. You may disagree. That's another matter. Now, there are three issues which I'd like to mention about the art part of it. When Valmiki chastised the unkind hunter of killing the female of the bird, Manishada, the metrical works in Sanskrit started. That flow has not stopped. In Sundarakanda, when Hanuman reports to Rama and said, Dushta Sita, the entire flow of the epic takes a total turn from despair to hope. It's as if the wheels of time have turned back. And that is what you find after reading Sundarakanda. The third one is very interestingly, the entire Ramayana was, tradition says, was sung before Rama by his sons who were exiled. What an irony. The two sons of the exiled king sing to him his life. The implication is another matter. Now, moving to the next stage, surprisingly, both Krishnadvaipayana Vyasa and Valmiki are supposed to have written parts of Ramayana. Dr. Raghavan has a very interesting statement to make. He quotes the Dharma Purana when Valmiki is supposed to have been asked, look, you have written Ramayana, now you write, you have written Ramayana, now you write Mahabharata. He says, he's supposed to have said that I have composed Ramayana and I'm free from doubt, agitation and illusion. Why should I take up another task? When Vyasa comes, I'll teach him the essence, eternal seeds of poetry. The word used are Kavya Bijam Sanatanam. That's what I'll teach him. And Vyasa is supposed to be associated with the 9th canto of Vanaparva has got Ramapakyana. And the 9th canto of Bhagavata Purana is also about Ramayana. And Adhyatma Ramayana is supposed to be written by Krishnadvaipayana Vyasa. There's a controversy. If you follow that, I think Vyasa is connected with Ramayana in the same way as Valmiki is connected with Ramayana. And the next point I'd like to bring to your attention is that there are many Ramayanas. And both within the country, without the country, in countries which are not influenced by Hinduism, like China, Japan. Now, I have analyzed put all this into 6 parts. First is Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, you got a number of kavyas which have used Valmiki as a base. Agreed with him, disagreed with him. Then you got transcreations in regional languages, and they are more popular than Valmiki himself. For example, Tulsi's Ramacharithamanas or Kamba Ramayanam, just to give you examples. Then you got interpretations of Jainism and Buddhism, which are adverse. And they are using the same story in a different way, disputing what's called the Hindu, the Sanatana arguments. Then there is the entire swath of Southeast Asian countries, which have used Ramayana to have their own versions. They interpreted it the way they wanted to do. Then you got folk tradition within our country, where Ramayana is sung with different, what's called emphasis and different stories. They're not the same as the original Ramayana. Then you got the controversial modern theorists who have rewritten Ramayana, disagreeing with some of the events in the text, in the Valmiki text. For example, this Chambukavadha is a famous one, and for those Kannadigas, they remember Kuvempu's Shudra Tapasvi. Doesn't matter. I think over a variety of creative persons have looked at the story of Ramayana in their own way, rightly or wrongly. That is our tradition of Ramayana, not just Valmiki. Now, coming back to today's presentation, we are using 2 texts. One is the Southern recension of Ramayana and the translation of, the commentary by Ramachandra in Telugu, and the translation of Vivek Dabroy on the what's called the edition of critical edition of Ramayana, cleared by MS University, Baroda. The critical edition of Ramayana is a little shorter, but I think the essence, as far as Sundarakanda is concerned, there are not many exceptions. Now, when you look at Sundarakanda, I think it's a story. When a story is said, what is important is to know not only what is said, but how it is said. The 68 sargas of Sundarakanda, I put them into 13 parts. If you put it that way, it starts with the first adventure, when Hanuman flies to But there is a preamble wherein Kishkinda he explains to his Vanaras what he would like to do. So the entire story starts with adventure, goes through helplessness, fight, diplomacy, then Vivatsa, that is the fire and the setting fire of Lanka, and then ends by peace, saying that I have explained to Sita that everything is fine, she is happy, contented. I think this is the way in which Sundarakanda runs, or creating different rasas, never a dull moment. It's almost a roller coaster ride. One time it's good, then something else ceases, and what's called, you find the end of the world, and Hanuman says, I'll commit suicide. Doesn't matter. The story moves and runs fast to a very peaceful conclusion. And mind you, this happened in about 2 days. What a fantastic art in which incidents of 2 days are presented in a wonderful way, which is a reflection of our own life. I think I would start with saying that let's take the 3 main characters of Sundarakanda. Hanuman, He's a wonderful person. I'm not saying, I'm using, mundane words, not philosophical words. He faces life as it comes, looks at pros and cons, finds out what's called alternatives, makes mistakes, regrets them, goes back, never says die. Is a fantastic achiever is Hanuman. And that is what Sundarakanda tells us. If you read Sundarakanda, it reads like a novel. And if you the character of Hanuman is a very interesting one. He is a fighter. He's a very gentle person, very understanding person. And he is a very generous person. When Hanuman deals with what's called Sita, he is very gentle. He understands. This lady is banished and being harassed by Rakshasas. How to get her confidence? She doesn't know him. And he thinks that she may be Ravana, but doesn't matter. The way in Sundarakanda, step by step, he gets her confidence, and at the end of it, he makes Sita is able to say, you are capable of doing the job, but go back to Rama and do what is good for his, to his credit. Fantastic way in which this man has really dealt with problems as they come. Let's come back to our own lives. This happens in a very small way in all our lives. We face ups and downs, not our making, sometimes rightly, sometimes wrongly, sometimes succeed, sometimes we fail. And he got Sita, a person down and out, away from the husband, and wondering why he hasn't come to help her, to take her out. And has got the gumption to come out of that and able to say at the end of it, okay, now you go back and get my husband to come and take me back. And you got Ravana, a man who is, what's called as cursed in life, who follows his destiny of destruction. Surprisingly, even in that path of destruction, he sticks to the rules. When his brother tells him, don't kill a spy, yes, we won't kill a spy. That is the kind of characters which Sundarakanda has created. Now, I mentioned about Hanuman being a very generous person. When he first sees Ravana, his reaction is, what a glory, what a fantastic fellow. If only he didn't do what he did, he would have ruled the world. A smaller man would have said, he's a criminal, we'll fight him. Now, there are very small cameos in Sundarakanda. I think the lady who guards Lanka is very arrogant. And with one slap, she cools down and remembers the story, what Brahma had told them, and say, ask Anjanaya, please go and do your job. I think the art part of Sundarakanda and how it is very much a part of our life. Sometimes I feel the Parayana Sundarakanda is a therapy. It is telling you what you are doing in a way, and giving an example of somebody who was similarly situated, came out of life. I think that aspect of what is called Sundarakanda, I would like you to please consider. When I went through it, I said, oh God, this is me. I have done stupid things. I hope I will achieve what Hanuman achieved in Sundarakanda. Now, you got the next point I'd like to talk about is there is an alternative interpretation of Valmiki called Adhyatma Ramayana. And Adhyatma Ramayana is a shorter version. It's an esoteric version of Ramayana. And the Valmiki Ramayana is a conversation between Narada and Valmiki. And Advaita Ramayana is a conversation between Shiva and Parvati. Parvati asks Shiva, a person like Rama, why did he behave like a ordinary person and regretted the misfortunes which befell him? It is Agnana. Shiva explains to her and says, it is not what is called being ignorant, but being witness of ignorance. And then he explains that Jnana and Bhakti go together. And the entire Adhyatma Ramayana is reinterpretation of Ramayana from a philosophical point of view. And it was so impressive that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to refer Adhyatma Ramayana to many of his bhaktas. So please read it. There, as far as Sundarakanda is concerned, Ravana is a what's called hidden bhakta, Prachanna bhakta. He fights with God. This is the Vaira Bhakti, which you have in Shishupala and others in Mahabharata. He wants to fight Rama so that he can achieve salvation. And it explains why the entire visit of Ravana to Ashokavana is explained differently. He was saying that, look, he hasn't come. I'm waiting for him to fight so that I can achieve my goal. Then he hears that Hanuman is there in Shishupavana, and he goes, sees, and this story starts. In discussion between Anjaneya and Ravana, in Adhyatma, it is what's called philosophical explanation to Ravana. In Valmiki, it's a diplomatic way of explaining how wrong should not be done. So you got what's called in the many Ramayanas we have picked up two and picked up one part, one Sundaraka, one Kanda to explain the artistry. Now, the next part which I would like to deal with is Sundarakanda Parayana. This is a matter of faith. I have dealt with Sundarakanda as a work of art, Sundarakanda as a realistic description of one's own life, of everybody's life. And then we'll come to the matter of faith. Parayana Sundarakanda, for those who believe, has been very, very effective, efficacious. You got a number of people who would to share with you that I have done Sundarakanda Parayana and I achieved what I want. That's the proof. Now, the Sundarakanda Parayana is done in many ways. And in some cases, it takes about 16 days, some cases shorter, longer time. It doesn't matter how you do it, but it is done right through the Sundarakanda. Sometimes you add the Balakanda in the beginning and Pattabhishekanda in the end. Now, this is for those who have got the time to do a Parayana. For those lazy fellows like me, and there is a Sanchipta Ramayana, abridgments. And I was mentioning to Prabhakargaru, I was looking for the abridgments of Mahabharata. So in Sundarakanda, there is an abridgment which is available on prapatti.com. It has reduced about the 3,000 verses to 38 verses. And doing that, he has done something very interesting. He has split these verses. Splitting the verses is a very ancient method called Vyarana. This has been applied in what's called in the Bharati Sahasra. that there are no 1,000 Brahati verses in Rig Veda, but they created 30 by splicing. Now, I mean, 30 verses if it is more, and the revered Raghavendra Swami, all of you would have heard of him, has written a Ekashloki Ramayana. I'll just very briefly mention it because it summarizes Sundarakanda beautifully. He says, Yasya Shriman Sri Hanuman Anugraha Bharat Tirna Ambodi Leelaya. That's number one. Number two, Lankam Prapya Nishamya Ramadaitam. That is second. The third is Bhunktva Vanam, destroyed the garden. Ratasam Atasadin Vinihacha, killed the Asuras. Then saw Viksha Dasamam. And then he says, Dagjapurim, burned the what's called city. Then Punaha Tirna Abdihi, Kapi Yuta Tam Ramachandram Bhaje. Within about 8, what's called small pieces, Raghavendra Swami has reconstructed what's called Sundarakanda. I think each according to his taste. I think for those who want to study, you can follow the didactic method, you can follow the art appreciation method, you can follow the understanding of realistic in life, or you can follow faith. Each according to his taste. Sundarakanda is not a text, it's our heritage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So anybody has a quick question, that'll be great.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so I think we'll move to the next talk. Thank you very much, Dr. Nath, sir. We really appreciate the talk. And so next we have Dr. Ingalalli, who is the Emeritus Professor of Philosophy at Harvard, KUD, and he's going to talk on Raja Dharma and its applications in the epic Ramayana. So Dr. Ingalalli, please take the floor.
Hello, Dr. Prasad, are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, sir.
Namaste to all the participants. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The title of my paper is Raja Dharma and its applications in the epic Ramayana. As a preface to my talk, in this context of the seminar with the theme, Education Applications from Epics for Human Welfare, thanks to Professor C.L. Prabhakargaru and Prasad for choosing this topic and inviting the scholars. And as a preface to my talk, I would like to make brief remarks about the text of Valmiki Ramayana, even though there are different versions of Ramayana. And according to my logical understanding, because in advanced philosophy, we study methodologies, whether it is science, technology, or any art, or any other thing in the field of human education. The Ramayana as such is complete and consistent if we take Valmiki Ramayana plus Vasishtha Ramayana. And I am not going to just take any sort of deeper analysis, but I want to start my paper, Rajadharma and its applications in the epic Ramayana. Here, the meaning of Rajadharma in the context of education. So what is the meaning of education? I say I am not a specialist in the field of education in the sense that there are specialized branches like say pedagogy and there are say master of education and so on. But if we look into the standard Oxford English Dictionary, education comes from the verb to educate. So whether it is Indian education or Western education or whatever it may be, it is primarily concerned with giving a sort of the training, say moral and intellectual. Now regarding the Rajadharma, say what is the meaning of Rajadharma? Normally Rajadharma literally means duties of a king. Since the state depended in the past heavily on the king, he was expected to possess some basic moral and spiritual qualities and proficiency in some fields like physical strength and stamina, experience in the use of weapons and good knowledge of economics and political science. And a basic knowledge of the Vedas and Anvikshiki as logic was necessary. It was the primary duty to see that all his subjects strictly followed the codes of conduct. The transgressors were be dealt with sternly. Rajadharma includes both material values in harmony with spiritual values. Normally, the validity of Rajadharma is based on the authorities of Dharma Shastra, Dharma Sutras, Vedas, and Smriti. And here there is a question of the origin and validity of Rajadharma. Say from logical point of view, the word Rajadharma denotes and connotes, say, any administrative head, a king, a queen, or prime minister, or president in the present era. And in our long-standing tradition, we should be very thankful to Kautilya. And there is a question, say in the tradition of the human education till today down to the present century, there are different subjects and there is a question of all the subjects, which subject is very, very important and which may serve as the necessary condition or the requirement to studying all the subjects. And I am going to just repeat it in Sanskrit as it appears in the Nyaya Bhashya of great Gautama Maharshi, Nyaya Sutras, a commentary on Nyaya Sutra, Nyaya Bhashya of Pakshal Swami. And it was originally taken from Kautilya's Arthashastra. Pradipaha sarva vidyana, upayaha sarva karmana. Pradipaha sarva vidyana, upayaha sarva karmana. Ashraya sarva dharmana. Anvikshiki shashvat matha. And the meaning is very clear. So even in the West, long back, Aristotle said, here Anvikshiki means logic, not the present day logic with so many controversy and not like that. Anuvikshanam iti Anvikshiki. Say Gautama's Nyaya Shastra, which is called as the Vedic in its tradition. So Pradipaha Sarva Vidyanam. Anvikshiki is the Nyaya Vidya, is the lamp of all sciences. Why I am contextually referring to this Anvikshiki and Nyaya Vidya? Because in our long tradition, say, in order to make the kings and the queens very competent rulers and the administrators, the training in science of correct thinking, the Anvikshiki, was very, very necessary because they had to conduct the parishads and they have to convince their ministers and others and run their kingdom very efficiently and so on. So this Anvikshiki is Pradipa hai Sarva Vidyanam. Deepa, say a Samanya Deepa. Pra, whenever we add something toward pra, it always implies some Taratama that it has got, say, a higher degree. So in that way, it is the lamp of all sciences. Anvikshiki is the lamp of sciences, so the king should be trained in Anvikshiki Vidya. And it is a shelter of all virtues, Sadguna. And say, Upaya Sarva Karmana. It is also necessary to for Karma Yoga. Anvikshiki Shashwat Mata. So Anvikshiki, Nyaya Vidya, Nyaya Shastra, so in that way they are synonymous. So the king, one of the qualifications, I don't know whether Vasishtha Maharshi taught Anvikshiki Vidya to say Yuvaraj Ram, the Prince Ram, there is a different thing. So for this reason, I have say touched on that point in order to make say Rajadharma complete and consistent. So next, since this kind of the webinar program is spread all over the world, especially to Far East and Far West, and I have referred one point to the great Maharshi Swami Vivekananda when he introduced Ramayana in the 1900, about more than a century ago. So he introduced our scripture during his August visit to and participation in the World Parliament of Religions. And thanks to Americans, they generously encouraged Vivekananda Swamiji and they appreciated Hinduism. So in Shakespeare Club or something like that, I don't know whether it is there, Professor Prabhakargaru may find it out next time. But my source is the volume number 4. Say there are 8 complete volumes of Swami Vivekananda. I think I should be grateful whoever reads all these. In 1 year, in one Shravana Masa, I completed all the 8 volumes. And this time again, I am thinking about. In the 4th volume, say Swamiji has given a gist of Ramayana and he taught Ramayana to Americans. And what he says, see, this Ramayana is a traditional, all right. And of course, our senior scholar, Professor NCP Nath, touched on very interesting points, how it is a say work of art or something like that. But I want how to read the original Valmiki Ramayana, and we have say one Dhanya Loka of Anandavardhana. Thanks to Anandavardhana for his Dhanya Loka. Say how to read and understand these Mahakavyas, and that is an important point I would like to make. Swami Vivekananda said that. Say now East and West, they are not far away. After all, we are just inhabited or living on this very small planet Earth. Compared to Jupiter, we are very small planet. And once again, on this small planet, I call always Earth as the hydraulic planet, because 3/4 of the surface is covered by the mighty ocean Samudra Raja. And here and there are once again, say forests and desert, and we human beings are making artificial lines, and this is our country and that is our country. Thanks to Adi Shankaracharya, he said that say Swadesho Bhuvanatraya. Say we must reach that height of understanding the 3 regions in the cosmos. So Swamiji there he said that see Ramayana consists of the eternal values in changing society, and understanding these values is necessary for both East and West. And next, in modern times, how the scholars like Professor Daniel H.S. Ingalls, who was the head of the Department of Sanskrit in great Harvard University. It is a great university because, say in every year, if you look into the valuation of the university, global universities, it never gives its listing within the first 10 universities in the world. In that group, Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, and Harvard. So in that great university, Professor Ingalls He has done a lot of work, and our Sanskrit scholars like Indology, like Professor Prabhakargaru may know his contribution to Hinduism and Indology. He was also specializing in Navana. Yeah, he was a great soul, Professor Ingalls, and he had a concern for the Indian civilization, and he has made a significant study in Ramayana, and he says a significant point about it. One, Professor Ingalls says that there is a major emphasis on individual practical morality, and he refers to say how this dharma. So he specifically pinpoints the noble characteristics of Rama, Hanumanji, Lakshman. Rama, Lakshmana, this combination, a brotherly relation, say is a role model for any future generation in the present generation. And so he says that, say how to evaluate this dharma or something like the moral act at an individual level. So Hanuman, Lakshman, and Rama at individual level. And here there is in modern moral philosophy ethics, say an act A, any act A is morally right if and only if it conforms to certain moral code. So in that way, say the roles, the different characteristics in Ramayana, of course, we cannot say that they are all common. Say even the personality Rama can be criticized and so on. But here there is one interesting thing. According to the modern, say this biological, what is that? Say there is a science of heredity. I just looked into the Kalidasa's Raghuvamsha, how Dilip's sacrifice Raghuvamsha, and Dilip, Raghu, and Ajay, and then Dasharatha. Dasharatha, say the youngest son of Dasharatha is the Ram, Sri Ram. And here, Rama had got an opportunity according to this genetic technology or engineering or science, whatever it may be. He inherited all those the noble qualities right from the great King Dilip and now Raghu and so on, like that. So here, see Rajadharma. How to understand this Rajadharma? Rajadharma is not absolute or very old only in the context of Ramayana. Even today, once again, we know that say Ayodhya is not a place mentioned in some sort of the novel or something like that, Valmiki has written, and it has got its own existence. And thanks to the authorities of the Indian government, they have taken interest in rebuilding that Ayodhya, especially that particular place and so on. And there are so many Ramayanas, they are inspired and they are the source of inspiration. And still it gives what sort of education? Since the general theme of this webinar seminar is the education and application for the welfare of the humanity. So the Rajadharma is Rajadharma and once again derived from Muni Dharma. I want to find in that way. Muni Dharma means the Rama was educated by two great rishis, especially Vasishtha Maharshi. Vasishtha Maharshi was his Rajaguru, and so he was and then there was a Vishwamitra Maharshi, and there is another Rishi who were the custodian of Rajadharma was Rajarshi Janaka. So Rama's character is influenced by all these personalities. So in Ramayana, the custodians are the persons who followed Rajadharma. One, Dasharatha. Whether he failed or he successfully carried out the Rajadharma, it is left to the thinkers and it is their own independent intellectual affair. There is a different thing. I'm not going to comment on that particular conceptual framework adopted by the great Maharshi Valmiki. It consists of 7 kandas, Bala Kanda, and then Ayodhya Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, and Sundara Kanda, Yuddha Kanda, and the last one, Uttara Kanda. And there may be some other verification, but there are sub-top chapters and so on. Here it has got its own rigid framework, and down to the centuries it has been influencing. And say human beings and the scholars are say they are say if they are enlightened, they can glorify it. Now coming to the application. So knowledge has two ramifications: the lower knowledge and higher knowledge. This we should not forget. And thanks to the Adhyayana Maharshi, who has given us the Shukla Yajurveda, and the 40th chapter is Ishavasya Upanishad. There is a particular stanza. It is very paradoxical and puzzling. Vidya, avidya. Those who follow avidya, they go to darkness, and those who go to follow vidya also go to darkness. And this is somewhat puzzling. Vidya, say, crossing by means of avidya, the samsara, and vidya amrutam ashnute. So yeah, thanks to Adi Shankaracharya, he has resolved the puzzle. There is no contradiction. So here, vidya means the lower knowledge, empirical knowledge. And in this context, we remember, see, the great philosopher of the 20th century, J. Krishnamurti, say why people in the modern time, they are trapped in the crisis, especially in education, in most of the fields. The science has created the problems. Because of science, man fought 2 ugly wars. But in the kingdom of animals, in the history of animals, you don't read the animals, the African animals and Indian forest animals, they fought the world wars. No. They are far superior. In the Kannada film song, when they are Pranigade Gundale Melu Manav one film song. So thanks to the nature is governing. So Raja Dharma is governed by Muni Dharma. So just as Adi Shankaracharya said, Smriti Anusarena Smriti, Smriti Anusarena Dharma Shastra, Dharma Sutra, then the great epics follow them. Therefore, the justification of the Rajadharma is based on conformity ultimately with the Shruti or the Vedas. Especially the first cardinal Veda is the most ancient is the Rig Veda. Thanks to UNESCO authorities, they have listed it in the UNESCO registry as the most valuable and most ancient scripture. They have the rishis have mentioned, so they had not the ordinary scientific or technological mindset. It was quite enlightened brain or the reasoning power, Dhi Shakti. That's why Vishwamitra Maharshi has given that grand mantra, Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodati, enlighten our intellect. So modern man is not yet enlightened in intellect. That's why J. Krishnamurti says that, say, modern man or the humanity has placed the wrong step in the beginning, therefore he is in the crisis. So then who is the best guide? And even the Raman Maharshi says that there is no any other guru but your own self. Know you thyself. Say even the Delphi temple in the Greece country, so because the Plato, Aristotle, and the Rishis, they were in that higher level of enlightened state. That's why they were given that eternal knowledge for all this changing society. So Ramayana, in conformity with the value system of our scriptures, especially the Veda, it is going to give the positive information to the human generation. And again, at the practical level, Rama has realized his responsibility. How to give his message from generation to generation. So at the end, he was in a difficulty. And as far as the practical, our Professor Prabhakargaru has given the subtitle to the Veda Dhyayana Kendra as a practically oriented Veda Dhyayana Kendra. So therefore, we are taking interest in practically. Even today, there are many people, including me, every day recite Adhyayana Stotram to get instant peace of mind and energy for routine work. What is this Adhyayana Stotram? Rama, even though he was God incarnation of Vishnu, incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he was unable to encounter. Say the Ramana was also not an ordinary demon or ordinary human being. He is also called a Brahmin, and he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and he has got a lot of power. So, in that last moment, almost the King Rama thought that he himself was defeated, he can't go. So, at that time, Maharshi, say, Agastya appeared there to help Rama. Sri Ram requested Agastya Maharshi, and Agastya Maharshi, understanding the weakness of Rama, and in order to encourage him, he said that, look, here there is Adhyayana Stotra. That is Prabhakargaru Stotra in the sense, Surya Stotra. So you repeat, you get energy, and you will defeat your enemy. And it is there in the Yuddha Kanda, and it is very well composed, and it gives energy. So that is the practical part of the Ramayana. And here, say, and again there is also Anjaneya Stotra. Anjaneya is the great leader, and he is called Chiranjeevi. Say in the Rama, say you can worship Anjaneya anywhere, with form or without form, and he is ready to bless, because he is called Chiranjeevi. So after say successful ending of the war and winning the war, Rama thought, and the sages advised him, say, look, Sri Ram, say, after killing that, say, the great Ravana, who is also a great soul, he attained the status of the Brahmana like that Hatya dosha is there, you should be free from that sin. So what you have to do, you have to worship Lord Shiva in the form of Shivalinga. So he requested the most obedient. I don't know in any management or in any. So the British or the East India Company trained their fellows as the servants of India. Perhaps, say, our Anjani inspired them to call their great officer as the servants of India. And in our India now, the Indian clerk himself behaves in a illogical way and illicit way, as that he is the boss or something like that. But those British Indian company officers, they were so polite and behaved themselves like servants of India. So here, the great servant of Rama Sevaka, and of course, there was a great understanding between Rama, and both were the Vishubhaktas, Rama and Anjaneya. And he was requested to go to Kashi or Banaras and bring from that holy place the Shivalinga to worship. And so there was some delay. Say, the Sita Devi thought that she should prepare the Madala Linga from the sand, and he succeeded in preparing that Shivalinga from sand. And by that time, say, Anjaneya also arrived with Shivalinga from the Kashi. And now, even to this day at Rameshwaram, the seashore of Bay of Bengal, say, Rama, Sita, Anjaneya, and all his followers, including Vibhishana, they worshipped Lord Shiva in the form of Shivalinga. And Sri Ram was satisfied that he was, as per the blessing of the sages, he was liberated from the great sin, and he realized that fulfillment. Sri Ram realized the fulfillment, and he was also, say, hopeful that from generation to generation, even to this day, say, that has become the Jagrata Sthana. And I think I should, even before my friend Prasad asking me to stop, I would like to stop here, thinking that this is the end of my brief talk, and thinking that this is the great application of the Ramayana. And even today in Rameshwara, near the Cape Comorin, it has been inspiring, and it is becoming the source of eternal values in changing society for generation to generation. And thanks to the participants and the organizers of this a meaningful seminar. Thank you very much. If there are questions, I would like to answer.
Yeah, Dr. Ingrid, thank you very much. Very, very excellent talk. Sundarakand is always such a joy topic to listen. Thank you so much. Is there any quick question from anybody? So yeah, there's appreciation from Raghava sir about how your presentation on Rajadharma is really great. Thank you very much. So we will continue with a little change in the program. So Dr. Aparna Dheer, can you please take the forum and give your talk? And she's going to talk on Ram Sita, the divine couple, the ideal characters for the society. And Dr. Aparna Dheer is the Secretary of Waves in New Delhi, and she is with us today. Madam, please, if you're here, take the stage.
Good evening and namaste to everyone. And I know it's too late for the program, so I will not take much time. I will start my presentation with just few introductory points. And first of all, I'd like to thank the Veda, Kendra, and Professor Prabhakargaru sir for giving me this opportunity to share my views on Lord Ram and Sita. Though it is not my topic of research, but still I managed to have few points to highlight its application in the current scenario for human welfare. So, starting with few points only. First of all, I want to say Ramai, Rambhadrai, Ramchandrai Vedase, Raghunathai, Nathai, Sitai, Patiya Namaha. राम सीता जी को नमस्ते करते हुए, नमस्कार करते हुए मैं अपनी बात को रखूंगी. बहुत ही बेसिक बात है, because since past 3 hours I'm looking at lots of scholarly presentations by learned scholars. Excuse me. So it was a very scholarly presentations going on since 3 hours, but mine is a very basic one. So the topic, as Dr. Prasad sir just revealed, is the Ram Sita, the divine couple, the ideal characters for the society. So talking about this, see, I'm not talking about how they are as a couple, and we all know, we all have heard so many presentations here, and also we all know as a couple how they are, and we all know that they are divine couple. But my focus is that how they are individual, how they are as an individual, and because as an individual, what kind of nature they both have, and because of the nature, they have their own powerful characters, their own strengths, and which depends on, which build their character and nature to a very stronger part, which takes them to glory, and their individual characters are shining in the society even today. So as a, जिसे हम कहते भी हैं कि कपल एक दूसरे के पूरक होते हैं, लेकिन उन्होंने अलग रहकर भी अपने जो इंडिविजुअल नेचर को है उसको बनाए रखा, और जिसके कारण they are still with us even with their powerful characters there, which they hold, and also they are and as we can say, they are the ideal characters for the society even today. So talking about this, even as we all know that we always start with ladies first kind of a thing, so I'm talking about Sita first. So as you all are aware that Sita ji Raj Mahal mein paida hui, and then she has to go to one with her husband, and she can very well say that no, I don't want to go with you. I'm very much comfortably living in my this Raj Mahal. तो कोई ऐसी बात नहीं है, मैं नहीं जाना चाहती. But no, she cooperated her husband. She has gone with her husband, and इससे क्या पता चलता है कि उन्होंने एक त्याग भाव को जीवन में अपनाया, सेक्रीफाइस की फीलिंग उन्होंने अपने मन में रखी, उन्होंने जितना कंफर्ट ऑफ लाइफ था, she dropped that out, and she is willing to join her husband even in the forest, no matter किस तरह की उनको प्रॉब्लम वहां फेस होगी, क्या होगा, इसके बारे में उन्होंने विचार नहीं किया. So in present times, if we apply this into present times, आज की डेट में ऐसा नहीं होता है, कई बार ऐसी situations होती हैं. As a couple also, we don't want to sacrifice that thing कि नहीं हम अपने comfort zone से बाहर नहीं आ सकते, हम आपके साथ यहाँ नहीं जा सकते, चाहे husband हो चाहे wife हो. तो वो एक हमें एक सीख मिलने को, जो जैसा हमारा थीम है कि हमें एजुकेशन एंड एप्लीकेशन के रूप में हम क्या जान पाते हैं सीता एंड राम के चरित्र से, तो कैरेक्टर से. तो दैट इज द मेन फोकस आई एम गिविंग. ऑल्सो जब वो वहां थी लंका में थी, तब भी उन्होंने शी मेंटेन हर फर्म नेचर एंड पेशेंस. दो इतना ज्यादा उनके आसपास का जो एनवायरनमेंट था, दैट वाज टोटली ऑपोजिट, टोटली नेगेटिव, बट एज डॉक्टर चॉकलिंगम सर जस्ट मेंशन्ड अस that we have to remain positive even in the situation of negative times. So but she remained calm, she remained positive, she didn't even lose her patience, and she became the kind of a character she hold is a fearlessness इनके अंदर थी, तो जिसके कारण she overcome all the negative time situation. And also other thing is that कि वो उस सिचुएशन से भी बाहर तभी आ पाई बिकॉज ऑफ द काइंड ऑफ द विजडम एंड इंटेलिजेंस शी होल्ड, जो उन्होंने विवेक से काम लिया. वो चाहती तो जैसे बहुत रो कर विलाप कर बहुत ही नेगेटिव इमोशनली अपने आप को जैसे हम कहते हैं वीक करके भी अपना टाइम निकाल सकती थी. बट जितना भी हमें सुंदरकांड में या पूरे थ्रू आउट रामायण में जब भी नेगेटिव सिचुएशन आती है, जो भी हमें उनका कैरेक्टर देखने को मिलता है, उसमें हमेशा एक विजडम एंड इंटेलिजेंस झलकती है, और जिससे कि हम कह सकते हैं कि उन्होंने बड़े ही विवेक से अपने उस टाइम को निकाला. शी होल्ड दैट सिचुएशन वेरी वेल. एंड अगर हम बात करें कि जब वो राजमहलों में थी तो शी वाज विद ऑल द कंफर्ट्स, बट जब वो बाहर फॉरेस्ट में आ गई और उसके बाद लंका चली गई, तो शी हैज टू ड्रॉप ऑल द थिंग्स लाइक जैसे राजमहल में होते हुए एक अच्छे वस्त्र, अच्छे आभूषण वो ले सकती थी, ज्वेलरी पहन सकती थी, बट लेकिन लंका में आने पर ये सब उनके साथ उनको नहीं मिला, या फॉरेस्ट में गई तब भी ये सब नहीं था. तो ये अगेन दिस सिचुएशन गिव्स अस द आइडिया दैट इवन टुडे sometimes we feel that ladies have too many desires to have all these things in life, but she patiently hold those things also कि नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि इससे मेरा कर्तव्य भाव कुछ और है जिसके लिए मुझे आगे बढ़ना है. तो that situation needs to be explored even in the corona times. This is just a basic example. We all come to know throughout world, everyone is very well aware that what we were doing previously before corona era, lots of expenses were there on very जो कि बिल्कुल भी जरूरत की चीजें नहीं है, उन पे हम expenses कर रहे थे. But now after corona or within the corona period, we all were know कि हमें किस तरह से अपने जीवन को, अपनी लाइफ को विद लेस बहुत कम डिजायर्स को रखते हुए, लेस एक्सपेंसिव चीजों को लेते हुए, जो मीनिंगफुल हैं, उन्हीं से अपने जीवन को हम चला सकते हैं. तो दिस ऑल एग्जांपल इज आल्सो कैन रिलेट टू the way Sita ji lived her life during the time of the forest or in the Lanka. So this is how I can say कि ये छोटी छोटी बातें हैं जो as सीता जी के कैरेक्टर से हम जान पाते हैं. एंड सेकेंडली लास्ट जो मुझे लगता है उनके कैरेक्टर के बारे में, दैट इज जो अभी हम शायद बात भी कर रहे थे, चॉकलिंगम सर ने भी कहा और बाद में भी सुंदरकांड के विषय में जब बात हुई तो ये बात हुई थी. शी रिमेन पॉजिटिव थ्रू आउट द होल डिस्टर्बेंस जो उनकी लाइफ में चल रही थी. जो कि एक तरह से अगर हम पॉजिटिवली रहते हैं तो हमारी जो लाइफ है इट अपने आप ही इट गेन्स अ स्ट्रेंथ, और हमें एक जो आत्मबल जिसे हम कहते हैं, तो वो आत्मबल हमारे अंदर अपने आप ही आ जाता है. और जब आत्मबल है तो देन वी कैन लिव अप टू आवर लाइफ अप टू द 100 years एंड विद होल हैप्पीनेस. सो अगर हम नेगेटिव सिचुएशंस में अपने आप को फर्म ना रखें, पेशेंस ना रखें, मेनली पॉजिटिव ना रखें, तो देन वी कैन नॉट लिव आवर लाइफ. और इवन जो हमारे गोल्स हैं, जैसे सीता जी का गोल था कि मुझे अपने हस्बैंड से जाके मिलना है, ये जो भी सिचुएशन है इसको ओवरकम करना है. So she done this with her firm nature and the patience and the positive thinking she had during that time. So that is an important thing. Other than that, she was very sympathetic, very compassionate with all. She maintained her decorum all over the time. And also जिनसे बात करनी है, even राक्षसी वर्णन भी जो हमें मिलता है सुंदरकांड में, उसमें वो मुस्कुराहट के साथ बात कर रही है, विद स्माइलिंग फेस शी इज टॉकिंग ऑल ओवर। शी कैन डू, मतलब वो अपना गुस्सा निकाल सकती थी, वो रावण को कुछ नहीं कह पा रही, तो चलिए कोई बात नहीं, राक्षसी के साथ ही गुस्से से बात कर ले, लेकिन नहीं, शी मेंटेन्ड हर स्माइलिंग फेस थ्रू आउट थिंग। क्योंकि अगर हम अपने इमोशंस को कंट्रोल करें और अगर हम अपने आप को अंदर से लाइट फील करें, हैप्पी फील करें, तो नेचुरली हम सिचुएशन को ओवरकम कर जाएंगे। तो दिस होल सिचुएशन कैन ऑल्सो बी विजुअलाइज्ड थ्रू द कैरेक्टर ऑफ लॉर्ड सीता जी। एंड लास्टली जो इसके अंदर और एक बात मुझे लगती है कि जो उनका हम्बल नेचर रहा, सीता जी के अंदर जो हम्बलनेस हमें देखने को मिलती है थ्रू आउट रामायण, वो हमें ये सिखाती है कि हाउ टू ओवरकम जब विपरीत सिचुएशंस हो, जब ऑपोजिट सिचुएशंस हो, इवन द ऑपोजिट पार्टीज जो हमसे विरोध में हैं, उनको भी हम जीत सकते हैं अपने नेचर से, अपने पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड से, अपनी हम्बलनेस से। अगर हम भी उनके साथ बराबरी लड़ने लगे, वो हमारे लिए लड़ रहे हैं और हम भी लड़ने लगे, देन ठीक है, युद्ध की सिचुएशन, वॉर सिचुएशन इज समथिंग एल्स, बट अदर देन दैट इफ अगर हम अपने आप को पीसफुली मेंटेन करें और एक आराम से बात करें, हम्बलनेस मेंटेन करें, तो उस सिचुएशन को भी हटाया जा सकता है। तो दिस इज ऑल, मैं कह सकती हूँ जो लेडीज में जो आज की बात भी अगर हम करें, अगर सीता जी में जो आत्मबल या पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग रही, आज भी अगर हम प्रेजेंट टाइम में इसको अप्लाई करना चाहें, अगर घर परिवार में हम देखते हैं इन आवर फैमिलीज, इफ अ लेडी इज ऑफ फर्म डिसीजन एंड हम्बल एंड ऑल्सो जो बहुत ज्यादा अंदर से स्ट्रॉन्ग है, चाहे कैसी भी सिचुएशन हो, तो शी कैन होल्ड दी होल फैमिली, अपने हस्बैंड को, अपने जो इन लॉज हैं, अपने साथ में अपने चिल्ड्रन को भी देख सकती हैं। लेकिन अगर एक लेडी ही जो पिलर है फैमिली का, वही अपने आप को छोड़ दे, तो कहीं ना कहीं पूरी फैमिली बिखर सकती है। तो इन दैट सेंस ऑल्सो सीता जी का जो चरित्र है, जो कैरेक्टर है, वो हमें ये चीज भी बताता है कि हाउ टू बी स्ट्रॉन्ग इवन इन द ऑपोजिट सिचुएशन। As far as concerned Ramji's nature and character, so I have as you all have all have studied that in the Balkand itself, the Naradji started the Varnan of 16 good qualities of Lord Rama, like Ishvaku Vansha Prabhavo Ramo Namah Janeshtrutah Niyatama Mahaviryo Dyutimanah Dritimanah Vashi धर्मज्ञ सत्य संगश्च प्रजानां च हितैरतः यशस्वी ज्ञान संपन्नः शुचिर्वश्य समाधि नामः। कि अर्थात जो समस्त विश्व में जो राम का नाम लेने वाले जो लोग हैं, ऐसे जो इक्ष्वाकु वंश में राम नाम से विख्यात हुए हैं, वो महाबलवान हैं, वो कांतिमान है, वो धैर्यवान है, वो जितेंद्रिय हैं, वो धर्म को जानने वाले हैं, वो सत्य प्रतिज्ञा वाले हैं, वो प्रजा के हित का साधन करने वाले हैं, यशस्वी है, ज्ञानी है, पवित्र है, जितेंद्रिय है, मन को एकाग्र रखने वाले हैं, साथ ही प्रजापति के पालक हैं, श्री संपन्न है, शत्रु विध्वंसक हैं, जीवों और धर्म के रक्षक हैं, और इसके अलावा बहुत सारी क्वालिटीज उन्होंने यहाँ मेंशन की है। तो राम जी की क्वालिटीज से ही बालकांड का शुरुआत श्री वाल्मीकि रामायण में हुई है। तो हम राम जी की क्वालिटीज को वैसे भी देख सकते हैं, और यदि हम वैसे देखना चाहें तो अगेन उन्होंने भी अपने जो जितने भी अपना पूरा रामायण में काम किया है, जितनी भी उनके विषय में वर्णन मिलता है, अगेन उसमें हम्बलनेस, पेशेंस और विद लव एंड ग्रैटिट्यूड उनका एक कैरेक्टर में हमेशा हमें दिखने को मिलता है। कहीं भी उन्होंने झूठ का या हम कहें कि लाई को बढ़ावा देते हुए, झूठ को बढ़ावा देते हुए अपनी बात को रखा है, ऐसा नहीं है। कहीं भी उन्होंने ग्रीड नहीं दिखाई किसी भी चीज की, जैसे कि वो राजाओं से मिल रहे थे अपने फॉरेस्ट के पूरा एक्साइल के दौरान, बट उन्होंने कहीं भी ग्रीड नहीं किया, और ना ही उन्होंने अपना भी खुद का भी अयोध्या पूरा राजमहल छोड़ दिया। तो ये जो सब हमारे नेचर में अगर आ जाए ये सारी की सारी बातें, और साथ ही हर तरफ से अगर हम राम जी से या राम तत्व से आज भी प्रभावित हैं, आज भी इंस्पायर्ड है, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, बिकॉज ही उनके अंदर जो अट्रैक्शन है वो है अफेक्शन का और फ्रेंडलीनेस का और हम्बलनेस। ये अट्रैक्शन उन्होंने थ्रू आउट मेंटेन किया, कहीं भी वो अपने कैरेक्टर में इस चीज को, ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने लूज कर दिया, अभी ऑपोजिट सिचुएशन थी तो उन्हें गुस्सा आ गया, नहीं, ऐसा कभी भी नहीं हुआ। हमेशा उन्होंने एक अट्रैक्शन अपना मेंटेन किया, वो अट्रैक्शन था अफेक्शन सबके लिए। For everyone, he has shown the love and the affection and the gratitude, and these feelings are very much needed in the today's world also. So in total, अगर मैं in conclusion अगर मैं कहूँ तो हम कह सकते हैं कि दुखी होने पर भी दोनों एज अ कपल बोथ ऑफ देम आर, जो हम कहें ऑपोजिट सिचुएशंस में थे, दे आर टोटली, वो एक दूसरे से अलग हैं, जुदा हो गए हैं, सब कुछ है, लेकिन अगेन दे हैव मेंटेन्ड देयर इंडिविजुअल कैरेक्टर्स, चाहे वो कहीं पर भी थे, देयर इंडिविजुअल कैरेक्टर्स made them to shine even today in the world of present times. So education and application of these characters, अगर हम आज के बारे में बात करें for human welfare, अगर हम welfare चाहते हैं तो we need to be grateful, we need to be humble, we need to be patient, we need to be firm, we need to have a positive thinking, a positive outlook for our generations and others. So many, so these are the whole points which I like to mention here, and these are just basic ones. But if we go through the Ramayana, whole Ramayana literature, we found these as a main gist of the whole Ramayana epic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Aparna, madam. Yeah, very crisply said and very nicely you have laid out the gist of Ramayana. Thank you very, very much. So in keeping mind the time, I know it's very late, we're way past. Nana, you want to make a few concluding remarks and then we'll have the vote of thanks.
Sri Guru Bhyo Harihi Om. So I specifically took my talk at the end of all your speakers, because all the speakers are trying to look at our epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, of course Bhagavata. The Ramayana is called as a court epic in English, and Mahabharata is the Itihasa, but also is a lot, all other characteristics are there in Mahabharata. And so the Vyasa Bhagavan is taken as Usanaha Kavihi, the erstwhile poet, erstwhile historian, erstwhile and all that. So these two great Maharshis or Rishis or Mukhya Kaviswaras, Valmiki, Vyasa, Mukhyaha, Kaviswaraha, they try to present to us many aspects for covering the human happiness, human well-being, and human health and everything. So in olden days, people were very much rich in knowledge only because they studied these epics, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, and Bharatam. And of course, we have got Vedas before a preamble for that, but that Veda is not accessible for understanding for all people because the language is archaic. And therefore, I have chosen the topic as general outlook on life management in the epics for guidance on today's context. So I'm very greedy in choosing this kind of topic because it has covered the outlook in epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and how the life, after all, how the life management has taken place. Because from cradle to grave, one has to be careful, see that his body, mind, and soul are properly taken care, and what are the measures through which we are able to overcome the difficulties and say that we subsist and sustain until the last, because we are not supposed to give up our life by any force of all that. So we are to live 100 years. Sadamanam bhavatu, satayu purushaha, setendriyaha, ayushi indriye pratitishthati is our Vedic dictum, that ayushi indriya, these are the two things which we have got to work up for the management of life. And again, I have talked on other things, the guidance. What is the guidance that we get from the Ramayana, Mahabharata, or the Maharshi? Because all knowledge has come to us from Maharshis. Because Maharshayo dharma tapobhikamaha. So Maharshis are always fond of dharma and also tapas. Tapas is the work, exertion, no laziness, trying to find out such research, and try to explore the jnana. And we have also got that human creation or the creation is there along with the work, tapas. Tapasa Brahma Vijignasasva Tapo Brahmeti. Brahma is knowledge and education. And only through work and attachment and devotion we are able to get it. That's why in Krishna in Bhagavad Gita and Mahabharata, so Sahayagnaha Prajaha Sruštva. See, the people are created along with the yajnas. Yajna is the work, because yajna is the sreshtatama karma. It is the best one. But among all karmas, whatever karma you speak about, the best one is yajna, that is effort and trying to note. And yajna has got, of course, components many, and it's a big subject by itself. And again, we have been told that gnanam vijnana sahitam. See, the gnanam, the knowledge, must always be coupled with the application. So all the scriptures do not only give you education, but you also gives you the vidya, that is what application, how to use that knowledge, that utility or technology and all that is necessary, and there is guidance. And basically, what is kavyam? Because Ramayana is Adi Kavya or Kavya, and all of us are aware that kavya or knowledge or education is to get fame. We have to leave footprints on the sands of time. We can't. Unless you do so, it is not useful of your existence. Vidya vihinaha pashuhu, they said. So we don't want to be, all are born Sudras, all are born like Pashus. Kamaha Pashuhu, everything is Pashu. But one has to rise higher up through education and application. Then, Artha Krute Vyavahara Vide Siveta Rakshataye Sadhyaha Paranurtaye Kanta Sammitataya Upadesa Yuje. These are the characteristics of a Kavya. In a sense that Artha Krute, to our Artha is understanding, Artha is financial strength. So both should be obtained through your education. Merely holding a paper certificate of degree, either BE or ME or MBBS, it doesn't give you, you should convert the paper certificate into money. Then that is application. And that money must make your life management happier and all that. Then you have got Vyavahara, with the most important is Vyavahara. See, ahare, vyavahare, cha chettalajjaha sukhi bhavet. So we have so many subhashitas that ahara and vyavahara, these are the two things to manage our life, to manage everything in our life. Therefore, these are very well illustrated, and examples are given for positive way and negative way. Bitam hitam cha bunjita. So all that vyavahara, also dealing with the business transactions. So everybody is business minded. Nobody wants to while away, everybody wants to get some gain. Labham, labham, labham. Nobody wants to lose anything, because jayam, though it is doubtful, but we always have hope that we will be having the vya. So that is called vyavahara, with, that is technology, knowledge, application, stress management, and work, and all that is there and could be done. And moreover, Siveta Rakshati is important, because all the scriptures, Ramayana, Mahabharata, knows that there is always in life Siva Itaras. That is, negative thinking is more, unwanted thoughts are more, chaos and confusion is more, disbelief is more, etc. All these things are simply harming and discouraging and making the person life a miserable. A miserable one, but that has to be overcome. Ultimately, when you overcome all that, education in the scriptures tell you that you can get moksham or emancipation or birthlessness. That is why in Narayaniyam, of course, a Bhagavata written that Bhattadiri says, beautiful slokam. See, Asmin Paratman Nejam Nanupatma Kalpe, Tumitha Mitha Pita Padmayonihi, Ananta Bhuma Mamarogarasim, Nirundi, Vatalayavasa Vishnu. See, Roga Rasim Nirundi. That's exactly what all our scriptures will do. Roga is not simply physical or mental or spiritual, but you have to understand the Janma Dukkham, Jara Dukkham, Yad Dukkham Dukkham Evacha. And Jara, Janma, Jara, and all these things are chasing us. So we have to find ways and means to get to overcome all these things. Then it will become Siveta Rakshati. That itara, those who are negative things, the Kshati, the Nasha should be there. Unless you push down the water, you can't float on the water. If you push up the water, you go inside the water. So like that, all our scriptures are hundreds of examples there. And Sadhyaha Paranirvriti, that's what we want to have, immediate response, immediate benefit, and no time lag, something like our something like electronic speed. Say your email, computer, and all that, no time it takes. Postman takes time. Postal system takes time, but your computer doesn't take time. If you just click send, it is already on the table of the fellow. That is desk to desk. So much technology has developed, and therefore it is called nirvriti, and other instantaneous relief. And we have got so many medical gadgets or methods. Actually, it is said that in our education, there are people who are educated for 42 and more healing systems. And allopathy, homeopathy, all pathis are there. But Lakshmipati is very powerful. That Lakshmipati is being commented and explained, and belief is being established upon that. So without leaving Lakshmipati, if you go to any pati for treatment, will not be working up. It will be only resulting into temporary relief. Just like Dr. Sokkalingam told, please don't go into those injections. Ultimately, he covered up. So you try to only 20 minutes relief for the problem. No, not like that. So we have got that relief, permanent relief. And also, next again, all these scriptures, Kanta Sammitaya Padesayuja, our scriptures are just like the talk of a woman. The woman knows how to get the argument won. Generally, man is very powerful and arrogant and negative and all that. But when woman takes the kajal and takes the role, the man says, yes, let us go. Just one example, Rama and Sita, and our Aparnaji has brought out so many things. But Sita cannot teach directly to Rama because he is such a great person. But Rama should not also grow angry. The moment Rama came to Sita and said, Sita, my father has given promise that I should go to forest for 14 years and Bharata should be the king. And so you all stay in this place, Ayodhya, serve my parents, serve my brothers, and take hold of all. I'll return after 14 years. So this kind of statement to a wife by husband, by Rama, who is such an, what do you like? But Sita heard him and all that. Later on, she begins talking, said every time she used the word smaraye, natu sikshaye. That itself is something beating him with a new chappal, because it is, trying to educate him, trying to put him on the road. In fact, when we have hundreds of examples to say that Kanta Samitatvam. In fact, when Rama came to Ranjaneya sitting, when when Vibhishana was hanging in the sky for landing, taking permission, then Rama ultimately goes to Hanuman and asks Sundaraka in Idakanda, what do you think about it? But servants must be very careful to deal with the bosses. That's a wonderful example. Because servants, if they advise bosses, the servants will lose, the employees will lose their jobs. There are hundreds of instances, and that has been attested in our scriptures also. So what he would say, he just leaves the ultimate decision to Rama, but puts the cards on the table. And so it was all Rama who decided, let Vibhishana be landing. And see, that's why we have got in Rama Raksha Stotram, beautiful expression. So Vibhishana Sridaha Ramaha Patu Me Padam. See, the chairman of the foot healing or foot protection department is Rama, because he allowed Vibhishana to put his leg upon the magnetic field of Rama. And therefore, Vibhishanaha Patume, Ramaha Patume Padam, Vibhishana Sridaha. So if you just examine, that is what is the outlook and the in-look and all that. Because Yavai Drishtihi, Savai Srishtihi. How you look at the scriptures, whether a positive way or negative way or a different way, in all ways, it just gives you the illumination and light. Therefore, the drishti is important, the outlook. But here, the scriptures are having the Kanta Samhita. But Vedas, we can't take it, because the Vedas are taken as the Prabhu Samhitas, dictatorial texts. What is said in Veda, Rajagna. There is no revision or no that. Just you have to follow. But Ramayana And later on, after Vedas, whatever scriptures have come, have got freedom upon the people. That's why we have got so many people handling the story of Rama, handling the story of so many episodes in Bhagavatam, episodes in Mahabharata, and so on and so forth. We have all that lead handling. Or NCB Nath has told me, because he has actually sent me the article like that in 13 pages written. But thanks to him that he has summarized very briefly, because each topic is a seminar type. And there are scholars who have got their lot of thinking, but they're all being suppressed and submitted to the time, because time is most important. So that's why Kantas, and moreover, there is also Itihas. Mahabharata is taken as Itihasa. Ha, Itihasa is the understand. Everything that happened in Mahabharata, Ramayana is all Ha, Ascharyam, and something wonderful. For example, in Ramayana, we have got Sita abducted by Ravanasura for a different purpose. But we have got in Mahabharata also the Draupadi being abducted by Jayadratha. Imagine, there the punishment, application, when you talk about the crime and punishment, everywhere it is flashing. So everywhere crime is there, punishment is there, and people get repaired also. But there are circumstances when people cannot get repaired. Jayadratha is one example. He could not get repaired. He became deadly enemy, and he took an oath that he should kill Arjuna. And Arjuna, on contrast, took a challenge. And all these challenges are a problem for Krishna, the manager of the whole show. So we have got a lot of instances. Ultimately, what he has to do, Krishna has to use that chakram and see that stop sun to set until Jayadratha is put down, as you know. So all these things tell you that without knowing time and all that, one should not make promises and expectations. Another important thing is Rama, when he went to forest, and Kabandha, or Bharadwaj, or other rishis expect him, they says, Deshakalau Pratikshasva. This is exactly the management. Deshakalau Pratikshasva. Kshamamanaha priya priye sukha dukkha sahakale sugriva vasago bhava. This is a very useful guidance that we can get from Ramayana, that desha kalu pratikshasva, desham pratikshasva, kalam pratikshasva. You look for the kind of place you are situated. You are in a forest, no support. It is Adavi, it is Aranyam, Vipinam, Kananam, Vanam, and haunted by the Rakshasas. And moreover, you have got a lady with you, because men can manage, but if a lady is there, problems crop up. You don't know what kind of problems are there. Stri Rakshana is a big issue. And therefore, Rama has to, and moreover, Rama did not take, but Sita told ultimately to Rama, Striyam Purusha Vigraham, Jamataram Prapya, Striyam Purusha Vigraham, Kim my Pita. So he says, what my father would think, having a son-in-law, Purusha Vigraham Striyam. So this kind of torture to the mind of a hero, Rama, is real, and he has to say, okay, get ready, let's go. So Sugriva Vasako Bhava. Sugriva is a king of monkeys. You know, one monkey is highly fickle, but fickle monkey, and Sugriva is the king of such fickle monkeys. You can imagine how to deal, manage, and make them work for his mission. And moreover, it is implied, though Valmiki did not tell, when he made friendship with Sugriva and all that, Rama gave a military training to all the Vanaras indirectly, so that they will face the Rakshasas of different fellows. Rakshasa Kuta Yodhinaha, Kunapaha. See, imagine the Rakshasas with whom the Vanaras, monkeys, have to fight are not at all ordinary. So he has given sufficient training, knowledge, education, applicational methods, etc., to fight with the Rakshasas and see that they're all done with. In fact, when in Indrakanda, you come a context, very beautiful. When Jambavan with the light goes on searching for Hanuman, when almost all Vanaras were killed in the battle, then he goes to Vanara and then Anjaneya, whether he's breathing or not, Then he finds Anjaneya well wounded and but breathing. Then he just asked him, you are the only, if you are living, the entire Vanara army or entire Rama's strength is living. So please get up, go and bring some Mulikas. See that the entire injury for our Vanaras is done for, and let us rejuvenate. Still Ramana work is there. He is not destroyed. So at every step in Ramayana or Mahabharata, we have got stages. And again, just to conclude my talk, it's a big talk. And we have got in Mahabharata 4 gems, Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranamam, Sanat Sujatiyam, and Viduraniti, of course. So these are all 4 important aspects. One is activity. Bhagavad Gita is for activity, for inspiration, and Dharma Acharana. See, Yudhyasva Bharata, Yogi Bhava Bharata, and Mayarpita Mano Buddhi. So these are all the key notes or keywords of Krishna to instill courage and to remove Klaibyam, and which is a Daurbalyam, but he is a Balavan, but Daurbalya has clipped him. Stress management. He was stressed and depressed, low mood and all that, but he cannot live. So he said, Chudram Hridaya Daurbalyam, as our Nagaraj quoted, Chudram. So the word Chudram itself makes us hate it. Hridaya Daurbalyam, Chektva Uttishta. So that's what is the activity, enthusiasm, war spirit, etc. And in next episode that we have got that Vishnu Sahasranamam, peace. Because Mahabharata is said to be the Shantarasam. It's really riddle how when Ramayana is a Karuna and this is Shanta, how could it be Shanta? It's really, Dasamarasa is Shantarasa. That is, even so, Srutva Dharmana Seshena, Dharmaraja's Dharma quest has not stopped. When he saw Bhishma, the final one comes up, that Pavanani Dharmasa. What is that Dharma? Kim Parayanam, Kim Dharmaha. So Vishnu Sahasranamam is there. And that's a wonderful guidance to everybody. Whoever wants to peace, go to Vishnu Sahasranamam. It has got all-round guidance and application for our life management and everything. Next, we have got Viduraniti, because Vidura is the only right person who chided Dhritarashtra in a beautiful manner, that Dhritarashtra, a Maharaja, a Chakravarti, cannot be hurt. And he understood. He said, basically, Vidura said, when you have entrusted your treasure, your power of authority, everything to the 4 fellows, that's your eldest son, Karna, Dusyasana, the other brother, and then Shakuni. How at all you can expect any kind of peace and all that? He's just, you have lost all that. So you don't want. So the way the Vidura, Niti, 500 slokas, something like that, is simply unimaginably great, matchless. And all the time, first of all, he talks about Vidwan, Murkha Paddhati and all that. So in spite of Vidura having been a minister for Dhritarashtra, he could not rise himself because he lost his self-confidence. He lost his everything by his own. Because he gave up everything to first son, Duryodhana. For all what Duryodhana said, he countersigned. That's Mahad. It's not nice. As our Ingalali is told, Rajadharma failed in case of Bibhishana, in case of, in case of Ravana, in case of Bhishmacharya. See, Bhishmacharya had only one. Actually, when Krishna asked, you are fighting against Dharma. Is it right for you? Then Bhishma has the explanation to say, Dharma, Adharma are not consideration to me. I have promised my father that whoever sits on the throne and whatever way he takes up, I have to vote myself, something like the present day politics. So whoever gives money, whoever has that, will do it. So we have got all that. And ultimately, I want to say that what are the today's context? Today's context, everybody knows, everybody is going. We have Kalaya Tasmai Namaha, Kalo Jagat Bhatshakaha. And you see, Kala is Jagat Bhatshaka. It is trying to eat away all people. We think that we eat away, we eat time. We kill time. We always say, how to kill time? I didn't know. Kill time, who? It's meaningless. Time kills us rather than we kill. Kalona yataha, vayameva yataha, Trishnana jirna, vayameva jirnaha. Tapona taptam, vayameva taptaha. What a beautiful subhashta we have got. In that case, Kalaha, that's why Kalaya Tasmai Namaha. And Kalo Jagat Bhatshaka. And Kala is known for change. The water you touch in the river flow you will not touch the water, same water again, unless if it is a tank or any stagnant water, you can touch that. But in flowing water, time is Kala Nadi, Kala Pravaha. You cannot do it. That's why Desha Kala Pratitshasva is the caution given by Varshi to Rama that Kala Pratiksha. You are a hopeless fellow, you are helpless fellow. So you help is only Sugriva and his army, large army. And another thing, imagine if one monkey comes into our garden, into our compound, how panicky you become. Imagine Ravana's stature, and thousands and crores of monkeys are there in Lanka, then you can Ravana's. But in spite of that kind of attack by all Vanaras, Ravana stood until he sees the end. And another important point is the driver important. Car driver is important. If you talk about the car driver history, first of all, in Ramayana, you got Matali. Matali, Indra's chariot. Indra lent his chariot and chariot driver, car and car driver at the final point after Aditya Hridayam. And Matali, when Rama was trying to use all astras to kill Ravana, Matali turns to Rama. What thing? You're a Sakshat Narayana. Why are you playing with Ravana? Yes, the time has come. Use Brahmastram. And at the advice of Natali, he used Brahmastram. And then Ravana was done. Even in Mahabharata, Krishna was advised Arjuna to employ arrows upon Karna or Dushyasana, Karna or all people, that they must be. And even for last straw on the camel's back, Duryodhana not dying, escaping the war field and hiding himself in the water, Krishna again does the work. And even Jarasandha, everywhere there is knowledge, application, knowledge, application, knowledge, experience and application. And ultimately, all that has been depicted in the epics is very, very useful to the present day and history. And moreover, the history of taste. You should study that in Alankara Shastra, history of taste, activity. And human nature is embossed with amazements and surprises. Ascharyavat pasyati kaschadinam, ascharyavat srunoti, etc. Will tell you the ascharya. Our soul is a wonder. And you have to look at the soul. Atma guhayam nihitaha asya jinto. That what is that Atma? And all that we have got. And science and technology is basic and there is high development. It is for it is comfortable and it is giving you many risks also. If you use power, either for a refrigerator or for a microwave or for a fan, there is a danger always sometime, or so the more and more we are that using gadgets. But sound recognition also is important. We have got so many things, medical equipments to just note about the sounds. So this technology has improved, but all that is derived. But the sound technology was already there. The Nadi Pariksha for the Ayurvedic people, they look at the eye, they look at the tongue, they look at the wrist Nadi, and then give medicine. What is the kind of whatever things without touching are available in our ancient text and suggested by Rishis have been come to the practicalcy, and dangers have come up more and more because of these things. And as a result, we run away from nature, we run away from health, we run away from happiness because of number of things that cropping up. And ultimately, our Nagaraj has said, irritable, irradical education and irrational education system now. Because he pointed the first one, he said money, the role of money in getting into education, good education. The schools are there, government schools are there, private schools are there, extra other schools are there. So if you want to have your child educated, you must have your good purse. So the educators looks at your pocket while the child looks at the books. But if your pocket is full, then the child gets good education. So these days, loss of peace, irritable context of behavior, compulsions and authority and and also ordering and all that. See, we hardly see any kind of thing. But even at the situation, The rishis who have written down all the scriptures remain as guidelines, provided you go to them. But these days, people are not turning to Vedic studies, are not turning to scriptural knowledge, not turning to Rishi culture and Vedic culture, Vedic heritage and all that. So because of that, but these days, more in foreign countries, and youngsters are turning to our scriptures. If I organize a meeting, there are not old people to join. There are younger people with their kids and all that coming. But if the kids are too small, they have got convenience where kids can all gather at one hall. And here the lecture hall is different and kids are taken care by somebody, so that the adults who have come to the lecture are allowed to concentrate and learn something and experience something and all that. So Kavyam, or the scriptures, are meant for giving us peace and happiness, and also Sajja Paranivritti is there. Therefore, the topic is very much, and we are running good time. And so I wanted to say that the outlook on life management, and especially focus the light upon the epics, which are but emanating from the Maharshis. And they are all everywhere. They want the human being born to live 100 years. Yadi pranaha swayam nagacchati na parityajyaha. See, Bana in Rama, in Kadambari says that if your life is not getting out by itself, you should not compel the life to get out. That is, in the history of suicide, people are there who got the idea to suicide, but they resisted. Vyasa wanted to suicide, and Anjaneya wanted to suicide, and so Durvasa. There are some, given the great learned, educated scholars, deep experience, they just entertain the idea of cutting some suicide. See, that's why in Sundarakanda, you see, that Anjaneya says, Hasta Adano, you say, whatever gets it, I want to catch up and live. So if you just go deeper, your outlook and in-look of the Vedas and all these things will definitely inspire you, and that you should live an enthusiastic, hopeful, optimistic life, that life is important. As Chakalingam said, time, there is, you see, in India, we have got some signs, road signs, that life is important, time is important, but life is more important than time. I like you, but not your speed. So that kind of slogans are put in the national highways in India at one time. But in America and other countries, drink, drive, go to jail. That would be the slogan displayed in the national highway. Drink, drive, and go to jail. We are not bothered. So, but in India, they want human care, human welfare. They don't drink, don't drive. Please, please, please. So this is how we can definitely get up. And so thank you very much that all the speakers have done a wonderful contribution. I cannot review one by one and all the things, but we have got Suman, who is also one of the oldest students of National College and a scholar. Today only we visited and she seen her place, and she kept her library and all that. So she will be just offering vote of thanks with the comments any. And I ask Suman to conclude, wrap up the whole show, and thanking Anjaneya Prasad also, who has given some note, but the moderators have no scope because we are compressed by time. And actually I wanted to have full one-day seminar on this, but because of the COVID fear, I just cancelled the auditorium which I booked. But anyway, these 3 hours, we have all speakers who have been very much enthusiastically share their knowledge and make that Gnana Dana, because this is a Gnana Sabha. They all made Gnana Sabha. In fact, Aparna said, everybody quoted their time, 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. But when once you are on the road, if you are on driving, the time does not matter. You will definitely go on. For example, Dr. Chokkalingam told me that I'll speak only for 25 minutes, but he could not stop. We allowed him because it is useful to us. So he went over 1 hour. And also everybody has given their own time capsule limit, but they could not remain. But anyway, They were able to, even Ingalele Saab said, oh, I take only this much time. But he has also sent his paper, it is going to long one. Because all these things, Raja Dharma is important. So thank you very much. Om Swasti Krishna Arpanam. Now Suman.
Thanks for giving this opportunity, sir. I'll wrap up very soon because of the time constraint. But it's the ocean of knowledge is being pouring from so many speakers that I feel really very bad to cut short all the important points. But let me make a quick note. To start with, I have to thank the Veda Parayana of the NVAK students and the shlokas by Rishika and CLP, our own sir, has brought forth the inaugural speech by giving some Vinaya, Vidya, about talking about the humility for any person who has education. And to remove dosha is also education. Like in yoga, they say to remove kleshas is also yoga. So that's how, so very brief points I will just give. And the keynote address made by Dr. Chokalingam was really great. I really enjoyed it because there was this interactive session of his thing and one-liners, which was really very attractive. Like more than his 55 years of cardiology, I think I don't know, he has a lot of other resources in all these things, knowledge. So like life experience is the best teacher, and all are born at ease, and dispelling ease is disease. And about this, the one-liners like happiness is within us, which we really everybody know, but we never practices that is more often. And the most precious in this life is the life. Like we need to keep recurringly, like we keep to seeing all these things so that we know it gets registered in our lives, and the best companion is our own body. So all those things, which I think all these quotes are there in our scriptures, but these are one-liners which are very catchy. And the best temple is our body. So thanks, Dr. Chokalingam, for all these informative things about our daily life and how we have to go about our exercises and how to keep our endorphin levels and melatonin and serotonin all at high, and the feeling of happiness, and to be always be calm, be positive, and that's the keynote. That's the key to be happy and blissful at all times. Thanks to all those points. And now coming to this, of course, he talked about our day-to-day relatively this cholesterol and other things, which are of course very useful. And the three things that the three mantras of life, that is to be positive in thinking and be healthy in eating and have adequate exercising. That's also a very good point to be taken note of. And the next speaker, that is Dr. Nagraj. He was also a very, it was flowing, the ocean of knowledge was flowing for the, that is the grahana, the dharana of the students, how the students, that is basically the characters of students and the teachers. He made a very comparative study, and he quoted many Bhagavad Gita quotes, and then of course this is Krodhat Bhavati Sammohaha, all that we know, that the more you pander and desire, it gives rise to another desire. Just like pouring ghee to the ahuti, that is fire. So these are also very interesting points. And of course Triguna, this is Trigunas, that is the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, which he mentioned, and about the Duryodhana. That point is also very, very interesting. Though Duryodhana knew all about everything, in spite of all these things, it resulted in the difference in personalities between Arjuna and Duryodhana. That's a very interesting point. And of course, he made a lot of comparative studies about this Kama and Krodha between a good teacher and the student, and how teacher should have both knowledge and knowledge to present it, that it dissipate to the student. All that was very nice. and Dr. N.C.B. Nath. Of course, he did this realistic representation of the Sundarakanda. Sundarakanda itself is a very ocean. It's a huge ocean and the best part of Ramayana, I feel. So in that, he concised it to all this art that is handling turning points in an epic, covering combination of art, life, and in his life. So he tried to put incidents which he could correlate with his own life, and then how he has brought his papers and all that. So of course we do experience all these in our daily lives, and how he handled this Hanuman's gentle character and the generosity, everything. And then it's a kind of self-analysis, I felt. He has compared it to our own self-analysis. That was a very good, interesting point. And coming to Dr. Ringalali, he spoke about this Rajadharma and its applications in the epic Ramayana, which was a great insight through Vivekananda's perspective, or it was about Professor Ingard's perspective. And he spoke about the noble characters of Ramayana, that is Hanuman, Lakshmana, and Rama in particular. And he quoted some incidents from Ramayana. I cannot go into the details because there is a lot of time constraint. So, and of course, Dr. Aparna spoke very crisply and very, she gave very good points about this nature of Rama and Sita, the strong characters and the ideal which are ideal for today's society, and the sacrifice of Sita, which we don't see in our the modern girls, I should say. Not many of them will have these qualities. And the wisdom of Sita was highlighted, and her intelligence was highlighted. Of course, people who do have this will come up in life, whether it is marital life or whether it is their personal or professional life. So, and less desires how it can be more meaningful. And Sitaji's life in the forest, and being always remaining calm and giving confidence, and keeping her poise, and that is the key to happiness in life. That is what we should learn, imbibe in us. And she's maintained her emotions and the decorum with her inner strength, and with humility we can win over even enemies also. That is a very good point. And of course, these are all very ideal things, but when put in force, I think any couple or any person who imbibes all these things will attain success. And even, of course, she talked very well about this affection and the humbleness and the friendliness, gratitude, which she covered upon all the characters of Rama and Sita, and how when it is used in our modern day society by any couple or by individually, we can attain success. Very, very nice, very good points. And of course, our favorite CLP sir, he summed it up with our what do you call this, his subject for today, that is outlook on life management in the epics for guidance for today's contents. So it is, of course, it is very, very exorbitant. That is, he touched upon all the things, talking from Narayani Bhattadri to Roga, this Janma Jara Dukha, everything he touched upon, so many things, which I cannot, of course, this one. Thanks to all those things. And of course, sir, I have one question here. Among the Mahabharata's 4 gems, I could only get this Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranama, and Vidura Niti. The 4th one is what? What is the 4th one, sir?
That is Sanat Sujatiyam. Sanat Kumara, they talk about Sanat Sujatiyam, Sanat Kumara, and they are the divine rishis, and they teach to Dhritarashtra all about Vedanta and Atma and all that. But that has not, that's only library work that he has collected. He has not followed it. So that's 4th one.
So, and very neatly you have summed it up with Kalaya Tasmai Namah. Of course, we are all, each day we are all going one by day, inching towards our graves. That is there. And with lot of examples and from the epics, both Ramayana and Mahabharata and other things, with maybe that is stories from the Ramayana, you have given lot of examples. So, of course, you summed it up with you should always live for 100 years and you should live a very inspirational life. And I take you as my inspiration. and pray for everyone that they also get the same amount of blessings and wishes from you to lead a very happy and inspiration life. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So thanks to Suman and also
Thank you,
Raghav
madam.
Buddapalli. Raghav Buddapalli Garu is writing, is giving comments to all speakers. We are very much thankful to him for his active participation, giving his comments. Buddapalli. Yes, Prasad.
Yeah.
Can
Thank you
I
so
thank-
much.
Can I thank
Please go
Dr.
ahead. Go ahead.
Suman Nagendra ji? She did so good summary, and even Dr. Raghav Buddapalli ji. Both of them summarize whole talks in a very crisp manner, and हमें खुद को अच्छा लगा सुन के कि शायद हमने ऐसा बोला था, ऐसी feeling आई. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you made
Like a
time.
good student taking good notes. Suman ji, very nice. Like a good student taking good notes. You have done very nicely. Thank you all so much.
Prasad.